We're on live.
We're on a mission from God.
They're back.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh. Yeah. Nah. A Bears ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 proof, even if the Bears win or lose. A Bears ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 proof, no matter if the Bears win or lose. Yo, first, the smartest man, no tweets he's ever missing. Impossible, the mission, call out frauds with precision. A Bears 100 proof, these cases #1 adorer. Slinging dumb tweets, cross-eyed like Contora. Never one to back down, Shayne be calling a fraud. Our dumbest tweets of the week, the mailman goes all out. Cheers, Bears fans. The fired Puerto Rican barkeeper for Chicagoland. He's the godfather, the one, the real producer. Always keeping the show together with the voice that will seduce. Risking out the Firefox, the old timer never stops. IPAs, drafts, malts, craft spark, keep takes the shots. Bomb flies appreciated worldwide. Canada, Scotland, England, Brazil, Mexico, and Dubai. Dr. Phil is the guy, the one to realize that the barroom needed a show with an endless suit supply. Go big coat fought the narrative on color, brought the Jaces up, get paid for Mitchell. Now I'm the usher. Standing up for the truth, 100 proof with the guys. Almost burned off the show, but I came back for the bar flies. Fuck a fraud in his keyboard, Twitter, tough guys surround us. Raining truth on the Bears worldwide, bar flies astound us. This is the #1 pod, that's the reality of the truth. And if you don't know us by now, Bears 100 proof. A Bears ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 proof, even if the Bears win or lose. A Bears ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 proof, 100 no matter if the Bears win or lose.
The NFC North 2018 Division Champions.
They're the ones that fight for truth. Yo. Every week on 100 proof, even if the Bears win or lose. Boy, you know MC for a Bears ballroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Every week on 100 proof, no matter if the Bears win or lose.
And they win the NFC North.
Yeah. You know you got to feel it. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. Bears ballroom. You know you gotta feel it. Yeah. You gotta feel it. How you feeling?
Putting the band back together.
Keeping it 100, baby.
God.
Yeah. Fulfilling. Another fulfilling before the track.
Let's even cast the first stone.
Bears.
#1 rated 100 for the Bears ball flies. 100 proof. Shout out to John Farr, the super producer. Bar flies, stand up, unite. Aldo Gandia.
100 proof.
It's the Bears ballroom, and of course, it's only one. The smartest man in the barroom. Come on now, the mailman, your Shayne Moneyman Marsaw. Deliver the mail, MC fulfill for the Bears ballroom. Your boy, Draft Dr. Bears Phil. 100 proof.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Yeah, 100 proof.
Chase and Tyler, that was our plan kind of going into this thing last year when we brought them in here, is they're the extension of the coaching staff. But yet, if you have a situation like we did last year where Mitch got hurt, they can still win you games. And so it's just really great because this is now, I mean, for Chase, you know, in this offense, you're looking at basically 7 years almost. And same with Tyler, 6 to 7 years in this offense. So they have it down. They know it. They can now be the coach in the huddle and tell guys where to get lined up, how do you convert with, you know, on a certain play within that 40-second clock, and that's invaluable. finally now, this is like different levels here. You get to OTAs, you can't do any of that run game stuff. It's a lot of pass game. Then you get to training camp, and you limit some of the live stuff that you do. And now you get the ability to see these guys going full speed and live. And so they're chomping at the bit to get out there. Preseason games, there is usually more runs than there are passes. In our situation, it gives us a great opportunity to evaluate those guys. So we feel like we have good depth there, and there's going to be a lot of guys that get a lot of different carries.
Cheers, Bears fans! Oh my God, it feels so good to say those 2 words. 3 words, I guess. During a game. And we are live at the half of the Carolina Panthers Chicago Bears game. You just heard Matt Nagy on WBBM radio on the post-game show with Jeff Joniak. Nagy was talking about the quarterbacks, Chase Daniel and Tyler Bray, and the fact that they're basically coaches for this team, but they're ready to go if needed to play, and Chase has shown that in the first half with a performance of 11 out of 13, 120 yards. And his second soundbite, Nagy was talking about the running backs and how badly these backs wanted to get into a game and do some real hitting after all of the OTAs, where it was more of a focus on the passing game. And then at Bourbonnais, not much hitting going on for the running backs, and David Montgomery really took to it, didn't he?
That's my boy.
So we're going to begin with Draft Dr. Phil. Shayne's having a little trouble hooking up with the connection here. We'll get him on shortly. Phil, we'll go to your thoughts first. Everybody tuning in the chat room wants to hear what Draft Dr. Phil thought about this first half of action.
This is like a warm-up for us.
That's right.
Because we are going to be live after every game this coming season. Me and the Godfather himself, the super producer, a.k.a. Aldo the Great now. Shout out to Chris Bennett for that. But yeah, football is back on the big screen, not just on the Ottochian 55-incher, but apparently Bobby Bombs made an appearance on the video scoreboard. One of our host of the Barfly Tailgate show, Joey Two Scoops Mandel, another barroom personality at the game, showed me a picture. I don't know if he texted it to you, but I will, Aldo, as we're doing this. Big Bobby Bombs on the scoreboard, but the Bears got on the scoreboard tonight. Aldo, football's back, but let me just say this, 2 things real quick.
Sure.
How about my boy, David Montgomery? Like, in preseason scrimmages, you want to see talent, natural athleticism, the ability to read, to showcase some of the things that you saw on tape, that he can transition that onto the NFL level. You always have those concerns mentally. Is somebody going to be handicapped or crippled by the overwhelming amount of pressure that goes along with this sport? And then there's guys that are just natural. They just do it like they're supposed to, and it just pops off the tape, pops off the field, and there he was tonight in the Matt Nagy offense. David Montgomery, Aldo, is everything I thought he is already, and everything you want to see for a rookie playing his first game. And then my little Periscope note, really our tiny note, is how about my boy Rory Robinson Harris? Aldo, can we get this guy a deal?
Yes, please. Let's get him a nice, big, fat deal for 5 years and beyond. He and a lot of players on that defense, the second stringers, really showed something in that first half. I am thrilled about them, and already tons of activity. The chat room hasn't been this busy since Draft Dr. Phil was on doing Bears Hour Live. I'm telling you the truth.
I'm back.
We've got 35 plus listeners in the chat room, and more coming in every second. Every one of them chiming in with thoughts. A lot of criticism of Nick Kwiatkowski. We'll talk about.
Let's get into that. Yeah. Let's go through We talked about this on the last 100 Proof. The smartest man, despite his technical difficulties, was texting me, and the voice of Bears Barroom as well, Dan Aguirre, shout out. We were talking, Kwiatkowski, we talked about it last week. Opening night against Green Bay, the second half comeback. If you watch tape, Aaron Rodgers, third down, shallow cross, Nick Kwiatkowski. This is his weakness. I wanted to see growth. Tonight, his biggest weakness is exposed in the first game. Now, this is no cut the guy, get rid of his ass. We don't do that. We're showing you right now. You all see it. Anyone listening in there, I know, is a fanatic for the Chicago Bears. Otherwise, you don't come and listen to the best podcast on the planet, Bears 100 Proof. You go listen to some other thing, and we're going to cut guys, and Pinero's gone tonight, right after the game, kick his ass out. We don't do that. Let's keep it real here. Keep it 100. Kwiatkowski, Aldo, that Barfly Bear fan is 100% right. He didn't grow. His weakness gets exposed. Shallow cross, attack Kwiatkowski. Can't happen. The other kid, Pierre Louis, showing toughness and aggressiveness. Kwiatkowski, first play of the game, I filmed it on Instagram. Kwiatkowski makes the play. Mm-hmm. Second play, third play. Now Kwiatkowski's slow and late on the shallow cross. It's not just speed, folks. It's instincts. That's what they're going to attack you.
Let me bring in my man Shayne, the smartest man in the barroom, Marsaw.
Back.
How are you?
Can you hear me?
Oh, loud and clear, beautiful.
Well, first I gotta start things off. I gotta apologize to Stephanie Ottochian for
what happened?
Phil's texting me, tells me the most simple thing to do. Like, I haven't done it 15 times. And I'm like, yes, dumbass, I've done that, but it was Steph.
Oh
I thought
God.
it was Phil.
To my truthfulness,
So
I'm
that
like,
was
tell
my-
him to restart it.
That was my
She's
quick-
texting because I needed the phone to charge because I was worried about you. I'm like, what? He's got fucking Steph's. He's got computer something's issues. I go 10 seconds before we're going live.
I was perfect. I was sitting here and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. It was 2-minute warning and everything gone. Like, every one of my USB ports gone on my desktop.
Aldo, should we tell him? He's lucky he came back because Zimmerman was ready to rock and roll.
Oh my God, he's probably beating down the doors right now, right?
Danny Shimon is calling me. Everybody's calling.
I had to run upstairs and look around my son's bedroom, so I'm on my son's laptop right now as my backup. So, yeah.
Portable studio.
Shayne, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I'm disappointed. 44. You know, this was Kwiatkowski's time to come out and prove that he belonged on this roster. And Danny sent out a tweet talking about that, and I said, you know, Iggy and Fat Josh Woods are the guys with the speed and explosiveness that we need. And Kevin Pierre-Louis, a couple of shows ago, although I singled him out as a guy that I think will stand out in the preseason because of that speed and experience.
You did indeed.
And let's be honest, guys, Kwiatkowski, they put him, as soon as they got him off the field, they put him right out on special teams. I think that says a lot. And I think, you know, if he doesn't improve, I'm not sure if he's got a spot on this roster. I'll be quite honest.
Oh,
That inside linebacker position now is more and more played in between the numbers. So you need a linebacker, inside linebackers who have that lateral speed to get over and pass coverage. And Nick Kwiatkowski just doesn't have those skills. Fortunately for the Bears, they've got a lot of other inside linebackers with those skills. And so I think Kwiatkowski was put out there with the Pagano perhaps saying, all right, show me what you got, because these other guys are breathing down your back.
exactly.
And he just did not put anything on tape. Let me say this real quickly before you guys continue with your analysis. The second half has started. Now, the NFL rules prohibit us from doing play-by-play. We will comment on the action, but we cannot do play-by-play. So if you were listening on the radio, our friends over at WBBM AM 670, or you can find them on the internet. They're doing the play-by-play of the game, and then we hope that you'll listen to the podcast version of this show that will go up later tonight, early this morning. But we're just going to talk about the first half, and we're going to talk about some of the things we see in the second half with Tyler Bray now in the game and almost throwing an interception.
You're ahead of us.
You're way ahead of us, sir, so you don't comment on anything.
I won't comment on anything.
But playing off of that, and this is what I brought up, to me, Tyler Bray has almost no future in this league. Mm-hmm. I would love more than anything to the Bears to have a guy that just has something that you can build off. Maybe he can be the next Chase Daniel moving forward for you. You saw Allen come out for the Carolina Panthers. He's not going to play snaps this year if Cam doesn't get hurt, but he's a guy that you can build with and move on with. And Tyler Bray, is he that guy? No. Yeah, and this totally is the time where you'd like to see these guys get some meaningful snaps. And Tyler Bray, to me, it's just another coach for Mitch.
Well, go back real quick, because you had Roquan Smith come in, showcase exactly what he did last year, comes out, gets a sack. Speed there. You talked about Kwiatkowski. Shane, prior to you coming on, we said, what's his weakness? He wanted to see improvement. He didn't. Then you get your boy, Barroom, friend of the show, Josh Woods, comes in there, Aldo, puts his face and helmet right into the ball, exactly how you're taught to do it. He comes in and makes a turnover. To your points, Iggy Abunaway, Pierre Louet. These guys have speed, aggressiveness. The thing about this team is so, deep all around on the defensive line. Shane, I told Aldo, let's get Roy Robertson Harris a freaking contract now because
how do you not? You can't let a guy like that go. A guy that he's the guy that you thought you were getting. Oh my God. This isn't play-by-play. The play is over, but good Lord, Bray. Good Lord.
Well, it gets worse on the special teams in the next play, but continue your analysis.
Finish your point, Shane, in regards to that, because the reality of those players and Roy Robertson Harris being one of them, I just think that kind of ability to play inside and outside. And you all know what I feel like. He should be playing opposite Mac. I mean, you see the ability to just physically dominate someone, put that on the edge, and just think about what you get, in that kind of football player. I was surprised Eddie Goldman started this football game. Were you guys?
Yep, I was definitely surprised.
The only reason that and I'm not just trying to play contrarian here, the only reason that I wasn't, if you looked at Eddie, first couple of snaps, he was winded. And that has been an issue with him in camp. He was the guy that couldn't pass the physical. So I think that they want to get him out there, get him some live reps just to get him in, a little bit better game shape, get him along, get him some burn. So that's been a big negative with Eddie most of his years in the league, showing up just, you can't replicate game reps. Mm-hmm. And I think that probably counted in to their thinking there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. But we are taking a look at the special teams play here early in the second half, and it's not good as the special teams gives up a huge play to put the Panthers inside the 20-yard line. And it's one of those things where we'll have to look at tape and see who was blocked out and created this seam down the sideline. And the Panthers are going to go on and probably take advantage. I'm going to say it because I'm looking at it right now. This looks like a touchdown to me a few plays later. So
don't play
Gandia heading to jail. We're just getting the snap right now.
We're getting second down. I'm getting right here.
Yep, me too.
How much time on your clock?
13:46.
All right, I'm at 13:02. They're kicking the extra point.
Oh, okay. So thanks for that. You are the Robin Quivers.
Somebody told me that.
I'm watching this. Are you watching right through your Game Pass on your phone, Phil?
I am watching on my computer.
Okay.
I have you in the corner, and I have the game in the middle.
I'm watching through my Xbox.
I have 13:15, and the clock is ticking. First and goal.
I'm at 13:03, and they just scored a touchdown.
Jesus,
so, yeah.
Phil, you're way behind.
I'm way behind you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna back out of this and see if I can pick it
Aldo,
back.
pause your game and then put it. Time it all up.
Dustin Padilla says, I love how Aldo says you can't do play-by-play, and then he goes ahead and does play-by-play. That's right,
Dustin. He only gave the end result. So therefore, it is not play-by-play. He didn't even tell you who scored.
I've never met a vow that I haven't broken.
Barlissimo's guy, Holyfield, with the touchdown. Vander Holyfield Jr. But going back to football in the Bear and some of the positives you saw, again, who's offensively, we switch over there. If you want to stay on the defense, I can go there too.
Yeah, let's stay on the defense because I think we haven't talked enough about Josh Woods. He creates a turnover, and he's just all over the field. I mean, this guy is definitely ahead of Kwiatkowski on my depth chart, that's for sure.
He makes a play, and you feel it. You feel him screaming.
Coming out of camp, Shane. Yeah. I only worry about these things because I always am a big believer in play the best and send messages throughout the team, the roster. Here's a kid, everybody, including Greg Braggs and company out at camp, is saying, Josh Woods. Aldo, you mentioned him on your Twitter Live that you guys sent me. Josh Woods is standing out. So here he is separating in the first game. It's going to be interesting to see, Fangio probably would keep Kwiatkowski second on the depth chart and go forward. Is Pagano going to move these guys around based on performance? Because that's going to excite me if he does. Because everything we've ever asked for with the Bears has occurred. Coaching, GM, culture, all of that. This is the only area where they just allow these players and you question, like, how is this guy over this guy? We see it. It's very clear. And then eventually, Bilal Nichols starts over Jonathan Bullard. But it took what, 5 weeks, Shane, until Tampa game, whatever that was, 4 weeks.
Yeah, and he balled out that game.
Exactly.
I mean, he made some big plays in that game.
So he started out tonight, and it was Roy Robb and our guy Goldman on the defensive line. And then you had Kylie Fitz and Isaiah Irving at outside linebackers. Roquan, who had a sack and just continues to show what he is, started along with Kwiatkowski. So that was your front seven right there.
Right.
And when you look at that, minus Leonard Floyd, Khalil Mack, and Akeem Hicks. How could I forget this guy? These guys are backups and really, Aldo, flying off the ball, really getting you excited like Josh Woods. So let's see how I hope Josh Woods gets the opportunity because clearly he just popped off the tape of the first half.
Yep, he sure did. Also popping was Deion Bush. I thought he had an excellent first half, and he really popped Clifton Duck, his teammate.
That was the hardest thing. I was sitting here watching two different screens, and I put down that it was Kylie Fitz.
I saw that. Yeah.
And obviously, I knew it was Deion Bush, but I saw that, and I'm like, I was hoping that Duck was going to get up and be okay.
Yeah, really.
I think it totally threw him for a loop, but.
That's nice to see Deion Bush playing with a little swagger.
Well, it's important because you don't know. I mean, HaHa Clinton Dix, Eddie Jackson, I don't want to put the hex on him, but I'm just saying you need to have a viable third option at that position. I mean, was he perfect when he stepped in for Eddie Jackson? No, but I don't think that he was an overall negative either. So I think that there's still some upside there, and this is a contract year for him.
And don't
he
forget
knows
that
he's got to ball up.
Right, and don't forget that Deion Bush is playing for a defensive coordinator who Ed Reed said made him the player that he is at safety, a Hall of Famer. And so perhaps nobody's going to benefit more from Chuck Pagano's presence than Deion Bush. Another player I want to give a shout out to is the converted quarterback, wide receiver, and now defensive back, John Franklin. I thought he showed well.
Yes, Aldo. John Franklin is in my notes here. Here's a guy I was talking about because Last Chance U, if you haven't seen it on the Netflix, check it out. I've watched the season that just passed, Tooch, so I have a stream about that. And it's impressive in regards to how they take you through it. Here's a kid that was on it, went to Auburn, was Florida State, goes to the junior college in Mississippi, and really was just supremely talented, but couldn't fit anywhere. So I'm sitting there watching the show, and they're going through it, and Hard Knocks has actually mentioned the show. They had one of the players there, and here's Jonathan Franklin. I wonder how Franklin's doing. And certainly enough, 3 plays in the first half really stood out to me with this kid, breaking on the football and growing from last year, Shayne, where he was kind of learning on the go and like a kid with a new bike but doesn't know how to ride a motorcycle yet.
Hey, Phil, real quick, I don't want to overstep you, but here we're seeing the new challenge here, right. Aldo. It's probably, and I think he got some face mask on that.
Exactly. I think that if I believe that the Bears have challenged that play, that pass interference, it was not called pass interference. They're looking for a pass interference, and I think they're going to get the benefit of the doubt here because I'm looking at the replay, and it clearly looks like the receiver was interfered.
This is a great showcase of talking about this rule. Mm-hmm. So I just saw the play because I'm behind you. So Mizell's going down the left sideline, he gets interfered with from what I saw. Mm-hmm. Then the arm comes down and pushes across the face mask. So this kid's grabbing him with his back turned to the football. Not play-by-play, Dustin. I'm just describing. And he does not looking. Now he grabs and peeds him. He tries the one hand. I don't know if they're going to call that face mask, Shayne. There is a brush of it, so it's going to be interesting how they rule. I'm at commercial break, but this rule, Aldo, you got to, on some level, in this situation, I'm kind of excited to see how they rule this, because to me, the foundation of the rule is you can't impede an offensive football player with your back turned to the football to get it. And that's what the kid from the Panthers did. Mizell tries to one-handed. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do go over the ruling on the field of no interference to interference. Something historic, really.
Fourth down.
Well, I think in the chat room, Vic Fangio, we're being told that Vic Fangio was the first one to challenge at the Hall of Fame game. So the play clearly did not go in favor of the Bears. The Bears are punting now. Another beautiful punt by Pat O'Donnell. Well. My goodness.
About fucking time, Pat. Could have used that in the playoffs, you dickhead. How's that for play-by-play?
Yeah, Cody Parkey may never have double joint if Mr. O'Donnell would have done his job better.
So speaking of Cody Parkey real quick, Field Yates sent out a very interesting tweet because Kari Vedvik was good from 55 in Baltimore tonight. Mm-hmm. And when he announced that, he quote tweeted it and said, "Future Chicago Bears kicker, Kari Vedvik."
Wow.
Is that right? Well,
so is he trying to like just jump into that prediction, or do you
Well,
believe,
I think it's pretty obvious that he's the guy that is, the flavor, the hot, the hot guy out there, like the hot offensive coordinator, that type of deal. I think he's the guy that somebody's going to go get if they That's pass interference. They're showing it again. It's PI all day long. I don't know what the fuck they're looking at.
That's the fucking, excuse my language, but this is under proof.
Where's this 100 proof?
That's right. That's the fucking problem with the NFL and the whole replay system. They got idiots watching the replays. When the fans know the right call and the people who are being paid to make the calls don't make the right call, there's a fucking problem that needs to be fixed, NFL.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ, man.
I mean,
yes, we're back in fucking mid-season form right now.
But it is. It's hard to, just like that holding call on Coward earlier. I'm like, what?
Oh, my God.
Are they
I sent the freaking Instagram because I'm not on Twitter. I'm sitting out, and I said, if that's a holding penalty, Aldo, I'm a freaking tall-ass man. Because that was the worst hold. Coward did everything perfectly.
Right, yeah, he did.
And let me tell you something. The Bears have a gem in Rashad Coward. Because I'm jumping. I know, Aldo. I don't want to go on the offense yet, but just make a mental note, guys, in the chat room. Phil's got to talk about Rashad Coward because he's got me more excited than I was on prom night junior year. But this defense, guys, Deion Bush stepping up. How about Jonathan Joseph out there? Not Jonathan. Michael Joseph.
Right.
Michael Joseph with the starting unit out there. I like that kid, Aldo. He has talent. Here's the first scrimmage. How do you handle it? He goes out there and makes a play. Jonathan Franklin's still on the field. Duke Shelley is playing the nickel now. And Duck, I think, is playing the corner. And McManus back at safety.
Yeah.
Defense right now.
Right.
This kid Duck has a little swagger I like to see. Like a confident athlete. Someone who's not afraid to be put on an island. He has the body of a nickel corner, Shane. It looks like
he reminds me a little bit of our former guy.
I knew it.
Bryce Callahan, totally. When you look at him, because when I watched him first tonight, I'm like, Jesus Christ, he looks just like Bryce Callahan out there. But he doesn't have the bandages and the broken toe or whatever.
I got a first look. I'm gonna watch number 92 from Canada. I want to see.
Matthew Betts.
Just playing contain on a 3-step drop, so nothing there. But I wanted to see. I'm excited about that kid. Jonathan Franklin made a play, but the guy's open. You got to be tighter on that. But the reality of this defense, with all these young guys.
Shelley, that was beautiful. He's showing his speed and explosion.
You're ahead of me.
Yeah, well, focus on 33.
Okay, here it is. I'm going to look at it. It's in the nickel, right?
Yeah, yep.
Still a play behind because that was Duck throwing something out of bounds.
Yeah.
But you got to be excited about that kid, Shane. Talk about Shelley. Duke Shelley.
That's something that we're talking about the depth on this team. You talk about it at wide receiver. We obviously hit on it on linebacker, but we're seeing Ryan Pace's plan come into, these young guys that are unproven. You talked about Michael Joseph, this Clifton Duck, Duke Shelley, and all these guys getting, their play, getting their burn here, and they have that upside. They have that speed and explosion, and showing that if they're not going to be on this team, I think they're all going to play someplace.
God damn it. Josh just fucked up. I need a drink.
Pause
you guys
the game
over
till 8:51 and then press play, and then we're back together. He's going on a cocktail break. But I'm excited, Shane, because the defense has young. When was the last time you've been able to sit down and watch a Chicago Bears game where your second string talent and your third string talent is pushing your second string talent to be on a team like this?
Not in my lifetime. It hasn't happened.
Exactly.
It hasn't.
I think Bears fans and I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just thinking lay up to the Super Bowl. That's not how this works. Everybody gets paid in this league. The Chicago Bears have a lot to be excited about with this football team. But there's no layup to the Super Bowl. Know what's going to help you get to the Super Bowl aside from the Khalil Mack, the Mitch Trubisky, and all? It's all these young players that are willing to rise to the occasion.
It's not going to be Josh Woods taking angles like that as a quarterback.
Oh, Josh. Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah. Well, I saw the replay.
Well, he's coming downhill and he's not shoulder square. So if he's coming downhill and you're isolated one-on-one to the quarterback, you've got to be shoulder square.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming downhill and you look at him, his body's turned. Now he's opened up the floodgate to the right side of the field and the quarterback escapes. Teaching point, again, I said it in the beginning of the show, Shane, we're not cutting Eddie Pinheiro tonight.
No.
Because he missed a field goal in a scrimmage.
Dan Aguirre had him cut. Eddie Fry's been announced as the field goal kicker because he's good from 43. I'm kidding, Dan. I'm kidding.
And you also got to be, cognizant of this is a new defensive coordinator coming in. While all of these players, and there's no pillar players out there. No. When I say that, I mean your top of the line, Akeem Hicks, your Pro Bowl is your top 100 football player.
Aldo's getting me excited to see this motherfucker.
Oh, I love this kid here, Anderson.
Yeah, Abdullah Anderson has been playing well, and just to clue you in, keep an eye on number 30, the cornerback Michael Joseph, who you brought up earlier. He's gonna have a really nice play coming up in the 30 seconds for you, Shane, and 60 seconds for you, Phil.
You know what you need to do?
What channel are you visiting Aldo in tomorrow when the NFL Popo takes him away?
It's not play-by-play, that's commentary.
What Aldo should say from guys, what I really like about this player, then we'll know something good's coming up.
Yeah, really. I got to tell you, though.
That's not too far from being OPI right there.
Right, yeah, I agree with you.
The play before, whatever's exciting.
The play's coming up.
Third down.
Coming up on third down now.
All right, the third down play with Michael Joseph. Jesus.
Second down, the running back pushes off and gets separation, but the quarterback's way off. Mm-hmm. That's Will Greer, right? West Virginia?
Yes.
I like this kid's moxie, this kid Greer. For
Dude's
the
like 36 years old as a rookie.
Is he?
He's old, yeah. He's real old. He's like 25 or 26.
36. You're always busting my chops.
I didn't say 46.
Oh, nice. I know. Nice play by Michael Joseph.
All right.
Rising up, high point the football. Get any part of your body and hands in there, in the breadbasket. Rip through. You're totally right, Shane. That is offensive pass interference. He's arm barring him, pushing him down.
Yeah, clear as day. Yep.
Joseph, to his credit, just makes a great play. That's called being a freaking.
It's going. What's going through
like
Prince Mukamara's mind right now, Aldo? Standing on the sideline watching these young DBs step up.
He's calling a real turn.
But Aldo, we were talking while you were gone.
Mm-hmm.
When has the last time? And Shane, I won't reveal his answer, but I'm totally in chorus with him. Now you saw a football team, your football team, the Chicago Bears, have secondary and third tier talent pushing and vying to play on this team with this much talent on it overall. When was the last time that you could remember that there's this talent in this pool on top of what you have on the foundation?
It's been 84 years. It's going to be a Titanic quote.
No, I think you have to go back to the last century in the 1980s Chicago Bears, where they had an incredible squad with tons of depth. Unfortunately, not at the quarterback position, because after McMahon went down, things went south for that team. But I think, I think this team has more depth than the Lovie Smith teams.
Totally agree.
Yeah,
totally agree.
We said not in our lifetimes. Now, I was a young kid in 6th grade when the 85 Bears. So I didn't get to see training camp and what have you. I knew what I knew about football then. And then as I grew looking back, this team, Aldo, this isn't hype. This is just culturally the best I've ever seen.
Let's be honest, guys. You go back to when, if the Bears lost Brian Urlacher, even in their heyday, the season was over. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Hunter Hillenmeyer came in and made a couple plays, Shane.
Right. Yeah.
that was your fallback though, Hunter Hillenmeyer, who was a decent football player.
Yeah,
but
he was.
Right. You're freaking going from a speed horse, a thoroughbred, to a freaking guy going to the glue factory. That's what that drop off. And Shane's right. Now, Danny Trevathan goes out. Josh Woods makes mistakes, but Pierre-Louis, Josh Woods.
It's Lewis. It's not Louis. It's Lewis. Yeah.
I like how Pierre-Louis sounds very hasty.
You just want Crevant Leblanc. Who's the Bears running back this series? You guys know who I'm talking about?
Kareith White.
Is he in the game?
He's in the game.
Aldo had him on the IR. Remember?
He was. Yeah, well, watch what's going to happen in Game 3 of the preseason.
Okay. I thought you had some update for us.
Yeah.
No.
Got a hangnail. We better.
That's right.
Sit you down for 6 months. But that's how there's going to be guys that are stashed like that.
Oh my gosh, has to be.
With a deep team like this, you can't let guys just walk freely. I mean, you have to do some Tanya Harding type shit, I guess, just to get the point across so you can stash a couple of these guys. I mean, let's be honest. There's going to be guys that are cut that you're going to be like, oh, man, that hurts. But that's the price of having a good, deep team.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you about Tyler Bray. Phil, you said that, he's not much of a quarterback, but you're going to see a play coming up where he hits his tight end Ian Bunting over the middle, and he throws a beautiful pass.
He's got a great arm.
He does.
He's either going to hit you in the numbers or he can't hit a bull in the ass with a banjo.
Well, here's the problem with Tyler Bray and what Shane was pointing out, and I agree with him. It's the athleticism and the ability to run the offense, to have that something extra that Mitch has. And Chase has some athleticism to run and maneuver, where Bray is a big arm talent, long, lengthy guy who lacks the ability to, maneuver the pocket or run read option and pull. Some of the things that stresses defensive coordinators out is, old school football. You talk about it all the time, Aldo. That shit's old. Those old school. It isn't run the ball. Obviously it isn't. But you know what is stressing the defensive ends and the outside Bs by having a quarterback that can pull the mesh point and attack the corner and the edge. And you have that with Mitch. You don't have that kind of offense being able to run with Tyler Bray. The big arm talent, the ability to know the offense. I don't see the upside of him. I just think offensively the fit would be to find someone that has a little bit of a spark and athleticism to grow behind your quarterback, your starter, Mitch Trubisky.
Our boy Rashard Coward is not having a good game. Let's be blunt about that.
I thought he had a great first half.
He had an okay first half, in my opinion, maybe better than okay, but the second half, he just gives up a sack here coming up to Tyler Bray, and
it's bad.
You'll see it coming up in a minute here, in less than a minute.
I just saw the big tight end catching the ball.
Okay, so the next play you will see Woods give up a sack. So take a look at the right tackle, and you analyze that for us, Phil.
Okay, so it's a first down sack. Is he playing left tackle or right tackle?
There'll be a penalty, and then he's playing right tackle.
Yeah, it's a false start.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure who the false start was on.
You are way behind, Phil. Holy
my screen keeps scrolling. I have no idea why it's doing
I'm at 3 minutes in the third quarter on mine through my Xbox.
Oh, he's got to throw the Xbox shot. Are they sponsoring this show?
It should be.
They should be indeed. Harp 4803 in the chat room is absolutely correct when he says, please, Jesus, get David Montgomery out of the game. Yeah, we don't need to see him. I think it's time to bubble wrap him, at least for this game.
Not on special teams. I don't need to see him. That's for God.
I know. I don't understand what that was. This kid, I mean, he's everything you thought he would be.
Mm-hmm.
And that excites me so much to see that kind of balance and power and visual understanding of the whole. His abilities are just tremendous.
Coach Nagy's a little heated going after some of his offensive linemen on the sideline right now. I like to see that.
Well, and again, a couple of first down penalties on this drive really screw up this drive for the Bears in the third quarter here with 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go. And again, Chris Tabor's special teams for the second consecutive punt give up way too many yards. And, of course, these are second, third stringers who are fighting for jobs. But Chris Tabor's got to get this thing under control because last year's special teams was disappointing from A to Z, and we can't have this. We can't have this, not even from the second and third stringers, because we've been touting the depth of this roster. And so there shouldn't be a problem here.
I'm at the punt now, 2:39.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the Xbox?
I'm at 2:21, but we're in a commercial break.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm watching a Miller Lite commercial.
But Kylie Fitz, I don't know what the hell he's doing there
on that punt.
Yeah, you watch. I'm
watching it now,
and then he is just jogging. That's going to be a. What are they? They count loafs.
Oh, yeah, Kylie Fitz.
Yeah.
Hair Bear says there should be an ad in the paper for a special teams coach. Yeah, I agree with you, Hair Bear.
The sad thing is, you're right, Aldo. It's got to get cleaned up.
Right, and
that's the good thing about it.
Let's not forget, this is game one.
Scrimmage.
So it's you got to get some of this out of the way, but it's obviously a concern when we're talking about just the field goal. It's not just a field goal kicker on special teams. It's a concern. Mm-hmm. The inconsistency of your punter is a concern.
Yep.
Your coverage units are a concern. Let's hope that the return men aren't a concern. Having two all-pros back there in Patterson and Cohen. But other than that, everything is up in the air on special teams, including the coach. Yep. Let's be completely. I don't care what Pat Manley says that Tabor is a great guy, a great coach. That's fantastic. The guys like Dick Giron at one point too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an issue.
It is an issue. The kicking is an issue. Panero had an opportunity. They ran a draw play clearly to get to the point of putting your kicker out there. We talked about it last week on 100 Proof. This is when they matter in a kicking competition with the games, with the audience, with the lights on, the stage. He goes out there and shanks it. Mm-hmm. Can't happen. How does he come back in this game? How does he separate himself? How does he mentally challenge himself going forward? O'Donnell, same thing. Up and down year last year. Tonight, he's been really good as a punter.
Because
so it's
it doesn't
exciting
matter.
to see.
The pressure's not on.
Exactly.
Makes a big difference.
You gotta exactly. But again, this is the first scrimmage, and like we said, nobody's getting cut tonight.
Anybody know what the fuck is going on with Mitch Trubisky's beard? That just cut weird, or is it just me? Jesus.
I think he
can't grow it all in or something.
Trims it down on the sides and then lets it grow thick in the front.
Oh, there you go.
That's what I think he's doing.
Matthew Betts, the Canadian defensive lineman, everybody was kind of excited to come. I have not seen much from him at camp worth noting, and in this game, it looks to me like this guy is a cut waiting to happen. He's just not showing me anything worth talking about, and it's too bad because the expectations were high. He's got a great personality. He's a big ass guy. And just as I say that, he puts pressure on the quarterback.
Clifton Duck, though.
Clifton Duck is something else.
I'm telling you, he's
got that swagger.
He does. He's got the physical. Do you remember? You know who he reminds me of more than Bryce Callahan? Do you remember Terry Cousins?
Oh, of course.
That's exactly who he reminds me of. Yeah, he's got, just like Phil said, a little bit of that swag in him. He's got that dog, but he's physical in that small frame.
I just see him breaking on the football here. They're running a concept route against zone. You read it, you attack it. You go up into the body and attack the football player at the high point. You come in and rip your arms through. He comes in there physical. That's what you want to see. This kid Duck. I know Daniel Jeremiah was talking about this kid because I guess he played at his alma mater at Appalachian State. And even on this play where Betts is getting the pressure, that's Michael Joseph causing the pressure because his coverage. I'm excited about these young DBs, guys.
Yeah, me too.
They're so hard to find DBs and guys that can go out there.
These dudes get paid. I mean, you have to have young guys like that because, I mean, DBs are getting grotesquely overpaid.
Really? And there's something to be said about what Aldo said and mentioned with Dion, Bush. Pagano, this is your specialty. You get a bunch of young dogs that are just wanting to get after and get it. The competition level goes up while you're teaching. Oh my God. To benefit your football team is unbelievable.
I wish I had my soundboard up because the next sound you're going to hear is Shayne Marsaw having an orgasm after this run by Kareth White. There you go.
Speed kills, especially in the preseason. That's why I'm surprised we haven't seen. One thing that you can say about if you're going to bash Tyler Bray, he's got the arm strength. I'm sending a guy like Marvin Hall deep and just telling Tyler Bray to.
Yeah. I'm excited. I want to see.
Kareth.
There's your boy.
Nice. You're in front.
But see, that's a play right there. Yeah, watch 38. Watch Kareth White here. That's a play that you've been missing in Chicago that you're going to see with Montgomery, you're going to see with a guy like Mike Davis and with a guy like Kareth White, is coming up, slamming into the line, and then popping it outside and having that speed.
Yeah, we've seen when we've been very critical of Tariq Cohen in regards to having the ability to go inside attack. He's just always looking for the big play to go outside. In this play, Shane's guy, Kareth White, attacks the belly of the zone, the inside zone. Then he shows balance and awareness and speed to get outside. That is the difference. And that's where this kid is... It's just another young talent. You can't, as Shayne said, you can't teach speed.
Now, Phil, take a look at the next play. The right tackle again, Rashard Coward, our boy, our guy.
Him. He gets
gets beat again, and it looks really bad.
Oh yeah, he opened up the barn door outside and guessed. Once you guess and turn, now you've given yourself up for an inside move. So. Again, this is my guy. I love this guy.
Yeah, me too.
And to have this kind of athleticism and talent, this is about technique. What he did was lose his technique. Jim Miller isn't going to give us a replay of it, I guess.
And he's had a really good camp But perhaps that one play, I put up the replay on at Bears Barroom Twitter account where Khalil Mack came in and gave a head slap to the side of Coward's head. maybe that's impacting his play this week. Maybe he's still hearing the birds inside his head because he hasn't been the same since.
Well, again, teaching, you had me respond to Colin Coward's bullshit.
Yes.
In regards to Mitch Trubisky.
Great job, Phil.
Thank you. And shout out to you to put that together. Because Aldo just played it for me and I just fucking responded to it.
You did the hard part. I just edited it together with a little music.
No, that is something, honestly, that is a talent beyond, and you have it, sir. I'm not kissing your ass anything other than the reality of that. You do tremendous. But that being said, what Coward was doing was making a narrative, obviously, to get clicks and people talk. We know. But it still pisses us all off. And that's what we're born on here at Bears Barroom. So in this game, tomorrow, you're going to see David Hall talking about Rashad Coward. Oh, my God. But you know what?
They're still going to talk about Mitch not leading a touchdown drive on his 3 snaps where he handed off. You know that. And I'm dead serious.
3 handoffs. Yeah. Are you concerned about the 3 handoffs, Shane? But finish this point, Coward, the offensive line, Harry Hiestan's dream is those bad plays. Because now you're going to decide, are you going to be good? Are you going to be average? Are you going to be gone? That's what you decide, Coward. Because the coach is going to coach you up and use those isolated plays to better this football team. And here's a guy with tremendous talent. So I think these are good things. This is what we do here. I'm keeping it 100 with you. The sky. He's so far ahead in this game.
He's either having a grabber or you better score a touchdown.
Shane you should be a prognosticator. Shane says Bryce should just, throw it a million miles to Marvin Hall, and I won't tell you what happens. But
it makes sense. That's their 2 best attributes.
I think I'm
absolutely
Phil, you're froze. Yeah,
something.
But can you hear us, Phil? Because we can hear you perfectly.
Oh, he is.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Jeez, underthrew him.
Yeah, he did. Bry underthrew Marvin Hall, who got open on a deep pass. It would have been a 50-yard gain.
Cornered.
And I'm surprised.
Handed him off, and he threw late. He had him dusted. As soon as that corner hands him off, let that go. I mean, Hall is going to eat up that grass. That's a late throw by Tyler Bray.
Right.
Is that Marvin Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 13, he has played really well, although the last practice, he had a tough one. He dropped a couple of passes. He was...
God, the underthrow. You're 100% right.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
You cannot underthrow that.
No, Phil, you can explain on this too. When the corner is handing him off, you see him point.
Passing him
as soon as that's when Marvin Hall is going to.
That is a touchdown.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
That is a touchdown no matter what, and it is totally underthrown, and it's almost not even late.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing that's one thing that our starting quarterback has to work on too. I've seen that a lot from Mitch. I saw it way back in even when Cutler was here. A lot of these guys rely on their arm on some of these deep balls rather than letting it go and anticipating them that their throw is going to throw them open.
So what Shane's talking about, when we talk about the stem of a route, guy getting to the stem, you have to read, is he coming on a comeback? Is he going on a deep out? Is he an in cut? Is he a fade? Is he going to go outside or on the hashes or outside the numbers? These things are all predetermined based on the play call and the coverage. So versus the coverage, the quarterback has to release the football anticipating exactly where the coverage dictates.
Right, you're throwing them open.
Exactly. So the best of the best, the Drew Brees, in my opinion, is probably the best of anticipating the deep ball and when it's going and should be thrown. And to your point, Shayne, yes, if I was looking at Mitch, that's his one area where I say I want him to become a
You can't rely on just your arm talent there. And that's, it gets back to, like you said, anticipating these throws and where it's going to go. And a lot of these guys, I mean, even a guy, you look back at that play to Trey Burton versus Tampa, Mitch, he hitched and then he hitched again real quick. And then he's just lucky that the coverage was blown on that pass to Trey Burton. But you want to see him throw these guys open deep, and that it's only going to lead to good things for the offense. But Bray. This is the thing. What is this, year 4, year 5 for Tyler Bray, and he's a third string quarterback. This is, again, I just wish that the Bears had a young guy in there with some upside that may have a future here, because Tyler Bray does not.
I agree with you. Hey, I want to go around the league. I won't go totally around the league, but I do want to report that. I want to just a shout out to all you delusional Detroit Lions fans, because you are getting fucking pounded from behind by a big dick New England Patriots team, 31-3. You go on Twitter and you talk about how great your team is and how the Bears didn't have a good offseason and that your team had a better offseason and that your team is going to kick our ass. Well, look at the scoreboard, 31-3. Brian Hoyer, who used to play quarterback for the Chicago Bears, throws 2 touchdown passes. Some guy named Jarrett Stidham, a rookie, throws a touchdown pass against you. Then you've got David Fales on your quarterback. He throws
David Fales, yes, former Bear.
That's right. He's throwing interceptions for you. You got nothing going on offense. You got nothing going on defense. Detroit Lions, shut the fuck up. All right.
You know what all their fans will say tomorrow? You know what all the Lions fans are going to talk about tomorrow?
What's that?
Yeah, did you see Pinheiro miss his kick? That's what they're going to talk about.
No, I was too busy watching David Montgomery run.
Right.
That's what I was doing. But it's funny, Aldo. Mm-hmm. They are an arrogant
breaking
fan.
News, Air Jer is calling a shot on Twitter that I'm telling you, Kareth White is making this 53. He's dangerous.
Well, we know what Air Jer listens to.
Jeez, Shayne's been saying that since April when he was drafted. But I'm telling you, I want to shout out Bears Den on Facebook, and I want to shout out my guy Trey Pugsley. I hope I'm saying his name right.
Trey Pugsley? I never heard of him.
Well, you named it. He's a huge barfly and Bears 100 proof fan, Aldo. So I need you to get to know this guy, Trey Pugsley and David Wilson.
I think he just sent me a friend request today.
Look at that.
On Facebook.
Yeah, shout them out in the middle of this epic Bears 100 proof, the halftime live throughout the game show. Just giving you the analysis. I just wanted to thank those guys for promoting Bears Barroom and having such nice things to say. Abdullah Anderson, guys. Mm-hmm. You know, my boy Emery Hunt was a big fan of Abdullah Anderson, thinking this guy's potential could be something special. Go ahead.
Does your training camp thing have the roster on it, Aldo? Is that why you're looking at that? I was wondering.
Yes.
Like, is he banning himself or what the fuck?
No, this is roster. My fucking memory has gotten so bad that I'll look like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He didn't remember his son-in-law's name for months.
I still remember anybody's name.
I still don't know it. That's all the fucking marijuana. I'm talking to all you young people out there who are smoking this shit more than I ever did, and I smoked a lot. Your memory is going to be fucking shit by the time you get to be in your 50s and 60s. I am living proof of that. So stop it. Stop smoking that shit.
Smoking fucking reefer.
You ask, you receive here at Bears 100 Proof.
Julius Agers in the chat room says, "Shut the fuck up, you inbred Lions fans. Feel grateful for having a football team." Well done, Julius.
Julius is on point.
Tell him to tweet that out. Maybe he's got a tweet of the week in his future.
There you go, Julius.
That's Zimmerman type.
Zimmerman's like, I'll do it.
All right, let's see what else has happened around the league. I want to see what the Packers are doing. Where are the Packers? Okay, they're ahead 28-16. Looks like Deshaun Kaiser has had a pretty decent game for the Packers. Actually, it's not that great, the numbers at least. 1 touchdown, 102 yards, 8 out of 13. And then Tim Boyle, the third stringer there, is 3 out of 5, 40 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Dexter Williams, the running back that Danny Shimon and I liked down at the Senior Bowl, the kid out of Notre Dame, has 28 yards rushing. Trey Carson, 15 yards rushing. And the big receiver for the Packers is some kid named Alan Lazard. He's got a touchdown catch on 27-yarder. But that's about it. I think that that game was actually won earlier in the week when the Texans were beating the shit out of the Packers in the scrimmage.
I think didn't you interview Lazard at the Senior Bowl?
Yeah.
Did I?
I think so.
Like I said,
Al
my
was like,
fucking memory.
Hold on, let me get the drop up again.
I was smoking fucking reefer.
Well, I got to say this. I wanted to talk about a guy that continues to transcend and build off of what we were hearing from Bears barroom personalities at camp is our guy Wims. So he goes out there today, and in the cusp of the drive, you see him attacking back to the football, catching the ball with his hands. Aldo, we talked about the defensive backs on this roster exciting us in a scrimmage. Granted, first scrimmage, let's see how they build. John Franklin, Duck, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So on the other side of the football has been a lot of hype, lot of praise. And tonight, they sat a lot of, obviously Allen Robinson, who I believe get this guy early in fantasy. I believe he's going to have a huge year. I'm just putting that out there, Tooch. I'm putting that out there for you fantasy-wise. And I really believe this kid, Wims, is carrying over what he did from last season, what he's doing in training camp. He jumped right out to me in this game, showcasing the kind of ability that Bears fans, again, need to get excited, because you add that to Miller, Gabriel, Allen Robinson. Now you got Ridley and Wims, 2 Georgia boys there battling to push these other guys. Sign me up for this. Mm-hmm. And then you got Marvin Hall, who would have had a touchdown tonight. And you know how the Chicago beat writers get when someone scores a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name, Shane? What was his name? Christian?
Oh, Kenny Christian.
Kenny Christian.
Yeah.
The guy was going to go to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it was Ken Mastroli to Kenny Christian.
There you go.
In the preseason.
Ken Mastroli, Aldo.
Ken Mastroli.
Got a Ken Mastroli reference from this guy.
It's a smart man, motherfucker.
Right. That's
Oh.
Hey, nice little catch and run after the catch by Thomas Ives, a guy that we've kind of had our eyes on. He was an undrafted free agent wide receiver pickup. Unlikely he's going to make the 53, but he might get stashed because he has shown to have very reliable hands, and he's got some nice little movements after the catch. Big, tall guy. Number 14, Thomas Ives is 6'5", 215. I think he played at Colgate. Keep an eye on him the rest of these preseason games.
Colgate, a Hofstra rivalry there.
Is that right? Tell me about those Colgate guys. Any good? Ooh, beautiful little screen.
Colgate guys were always played hard into the whistle. Hard into the whistle. It's like a Joe Mandel,
Hey,
Shayne. A ringy ding ding ding.
A ringy ding ding.
Shayne, take a look at the next play coming up. A little screen to your boy Keith White, and why don't you just go ahead and play-by-play it for us since you're on a delay.
All right, here we go.
I like the Thomas Ives play, by the way. I like the size and the ability to get upfield while Shayne's waiting for that play. I'm on the Ives play.
Well, it's wide open all day long, but I like to see him. He's hard in his cut, and then he's immediately getting upfield. And that's one thing that I always had a problem with Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard was slow to react to get upfield on plays like that. Mm-hmm. It almost seemed like he had to collect himself. But this is like a fourth or a third or a fourth string running back that we're talking about that is showing these traits and this explosiveness. And this just goes back to what we're talking about, how deep this team is. I've never seen this. Years before.
Mike Brennan throws a ball a millisecond late. What a piece of garbage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Mike. But like I said, I think he's going to play in this league, and I think he's going to. You talk about thunder and lightning. You might have lightning and lightning with him and the two running backs that were drafted this year. Mm-hmm. It's make you miss and get the yards, and he's showing that ability, just like Mike Davis did tonight, just like Montgomery did. Ryan Nall had it, made an appearance. So this running back core is going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Well, he picks up 4 yards on a first down and 10 play. It's now 2nd and 6. The Bears in the red zone with 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go and a chance to take the lead. I don't know what the hell Tyler Bray is doing there in a pass to Joe Walker, but I'm not supposed to play by play, so maybe I'm lying.
I'm just seeing the screen to White now.
Yeah,
and
tell us what you think. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Attack the offensive line blocking down the field on the screen. He's patient. He's not in a rush. Number 60 misses his block on the Bears, and he's able to slither through and gather and get. And to Shayne's point, that initial quick twitch is there, and you like to see it. Then you see Taquan Mazzell coming on a slant and making a nice catch here as he moves and transitions from playing running back to playing and being more of a slot receiver. I really think this is a good move for him because of what we're talking about depth-wise at running back. So Mizell, that is. So those two football players, but the quick twitchiness, the stop-start that you see White have is impressive so far.
Best play of the game for Bray. He escapes pressure and finds Ives for a first down, and the Bears have the ball now at the 5-yard line, 1st and goal, and Keith White is going to get a chance to punch it in. Nice. We'll take a look.
Keith White, Shayne, really reminds me a lot of just the way he stops, starts, and his balance. He reminds me of the former Kansas City Chief runner. What was his name? I just have his. Not Priest Holmes. The other.
Yeah. He came out the same year Forte did.
Exactly. What the heck?
And the Bears almost drafted 2 running backs that year because they almost drafted him.
What the hell is his name?
Oh shit!
He tried to make a comeback too. He had those devastating knee injuries.
Bill, check your phone. I just sent you a text. I want to see your live reaction.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I will tell you that Ryan Cox notes in the chat room that Coward just pancaked somebody in their run game. And that's Coward's strength as a blocker, is his run blocking. No doubt about that.
Oh, my God. The text Shayne gave me is...
You want to share with the crowd? I mean, we're on the radio here.
I'll text it. You have your phone with you, Aldo?
You got to text it to Aldo. And Aldo could decide. But here's Bray here for me on 3rd down. And I'm watching him. And I'm going to give you a little bit of what I see. Are you laughing at the text
I'm
or
laughing
the play
at the text,
that
yeah. Okay. I'll have to put that up on Twitter. It's a really
There's
image.
Thomas Ives again being in and finding the open area. At 6'5", Shayne, you talked about this. You can't teach height.
Yeah.
And if you have ball security, Joe Mandel, you got an opportunity to make the roster. So this guy, Ives, is something that you got to keep an eye on because he keeps showcasing himself in game for me to move the chains.
Yeah, Dax Raymond almost had a touchdown for the Chicago Bears. The ball could have been better thrown by Bray. It brings up a 4th down, and Eddie Pinheiro comes in and knocks in a 23-yard field goal. So he is 1 for 2 tonight. Elliott Fry is 1 for 1, and he's also hit an extra pointer. So the kicking competition is, I would say Elliott Fry definitely has the edge tonight. But again, I prefer Eddie Pinheiro's leg strength over Elliott Fry's. When Elliott Fry hits the ball, it sounds like somebody hitting a beach ball. When Pinheiro kicks the ball, it sounds like a bassoon, as a musical instrument.
Zamfir, the pan flutist.
Yeah, there you go.
Jim Miller was talking about that on his missed field goal, talking about the sound that you can literally hear it wherever you are, and it's just a different sound, and it just, that talks about the leg strength, the power and the torque that he's getting onto that. But it where he breaks down is his consistency in his mechanics, and that's where you saw it tonight on that miss, and that's where Fry is ahead of him. Much ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't have those mechanical issues. And like you guys have pointed out in the last 100 proof, Fry can improve his leg strength just like Robbie Gould did when he missed. Robbie missed a number of field goals from 50-plus yards in his rookie season. And that could be, what Fry will echo in his NFL career, whether it's with the Bears or some other team.
So I want to just jump back to Tyler Bray. You're in the red zone. You're a big quarterback. And sometimes with a big quarterback, if they throw from peculiar angles, their ball stays low. And they don't use their height to their advantage in dropping dimes in there. To your point, Aldo, he has Raymond on the second down. He and delays on the throw, and it's the height of the football. If he puts it up to his level, it's a touchdown.
Right.
He throws it at the wrong angle, which carries in, and then it's late. Then you go back to the next play. He tries to throw a ball, and you watch his release point. For those of you at home, or if you're watching it again on the tape, the NFL Network is going to play every preseason game. So set your DVRs to this game, and you'll see Tyler Bray throw the ball. He's 6'5"? He's throwing the ball like he's 6 foot. So the angle to this football drops right at the guy. So it's almost like a line drive throw to a tight end that has a little bit of space that if you just lay it in there and release the ball high, you got a touchdown again. That's where his limitations are. So
they're on your praising Chase Daniel. I was disappointed in him tonight, quite honestly.
I thought he started slowly, but it was the offensive line that was getting him in trouble. Chase Daniel ended up, I think, 11 or 13. Not a bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That they were showing his stats, but I mean, obviously his height is an issue on that one. He ran right into the sack, and I mean that's where your height is an issue. But Phil, going back to Bray on that one, he was late again on the pass to 46 in the end zone. I mean, he had him. He leads him.
That's Raymond.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reality of what you get with this kind of guy. And that's where we're saying, what if you had a young, athletic, mobile quarterback that you're developing in the philosophy behind Mitch? It would be exciting. That was the one area that Shayne and I were a little disappointed, even in the undrafteds, that they didn't bring another. You got the coach there in Chase Daniel and the head coach. And now you got, what's his name? The old man coming back in to be an offensive assistant. what's his name? Chachi's guy.
What the fuck's
coach.
his name? The guy from Minnesota.
Yeah. Shayne, can't believe it.
Wait, say again now?
Totally ignoring us. He's too smart for us.
I'm pissed off because, again, Josh Woods looks bad on an open field tackle attempt.
No. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not, unfortunately. It's been
Josh,
a rough second half for Josh after an excellent first half.
Yep. Yeah, he not a good look on that one at all, although you're completely right. Can't be having that.
He needs to be able to attack
Childress. Thank you, Ryan D'Onofrio.
There it is.
And Steven Zimmerman. What were you saying about Childress and Ryan Cox and Dustin Padilla? Everybody chiming in.
There you go. We were just seeing if you guys were awake. No. You got Childress with the Bears. So you have a bunch of them to develop instead of watch a guy that's supposed to be a coach that goes out there and plays down to a certain level. He missed the freaking Hall touchdown. He missed the Raymond touchdown. So those missed opportunities are, say what you want, you can carry those positives into building your young football team. You want to win. You want to be successful. Even in these preseason games, you can't have a guy miss. Nice rush by 93.
This NFL referee, I think it's his first year.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Jonah Moore. He looks like the guy in that movie Powder.
He does.
The albino teenager Powder.
I remember that.
Oh, the NFL and their officials.
I want to see Chuck Harris get some pressure here, number 50 for the Bears. He's sucking wind a little bit. That's a guy that Khalil Mack has taken under his wing, University of Buffalo guy. And I have heard privately that the Bears have been impressed with him, but I don't, like I said, I haven't been.
You got a loaf there.
Yeah, definitely.
On the screen to number 39. He rushes and then he's jogging. That's inexcusable, guys.
It is.
In this, because you are in a competition to make the team. You're not going to get an opportunity to play much if you ain't going to even be in the league if you jog like that.
Yep.
So here you are on the biggest of stage. You better play like your freaking, hair's on fire every down. That's what gets you on a football team.
Yeah, and on that next play, Jameer Thurman, number 53, the linebacker, he's had an interesting camp where he's performed really like a promising young guy who every once in a while is making a mental mistake, but also showing great physical skills, quickness, alertness to the ball. And he makes a play here coming up on your screen, Phil, and he's one of these guys to keep an eye on because he could be a practice school candidate. And then following that play, you'll see Duke Shelley give up a first down reception, although he had good coverage on the play.
I'm just looking at Powder right now, and I'm laughing.
You are really
there he is.
Oh man, Shelley almost had his hand. That's a hell of a grab.
Yeah, it was good throwing, good grab by the Panthers wide receiver.
It's a hail
no.
My man.
Aaron Curran. Hail no.
Hell no. Is there any way possible that this kid is going to make the team? And Aaron Curran will come in and chime in when that time comes.
Without a doubt, we have to have Aaron do that.
I was a little disappointed in Kylie Fitz tonight.
Me too.
I thought that, here's an opportunity, big stage, your game.
These guys got some pressure, but they just could not get home.
Exactly.
I mean, Allen rolled out of 2 sacks tonight, and it's that's an issue. And this is where these backups, these guys, that have the upside that we see, these drafted guys, especially a guy like Fitz, you have to make your presence there, or there's not going to be a spot for you on the team, because just close isn't going to do it.
Yeah, it's not. And there's so much talent on this football team. So the loafing, especially when you haven't been even playing, you get in there for 3 plays, you can't be dogging it. You got to go full hard all the time.
Yep, indeed. Michael Joseph with another play coming up. These Michael Joseph, Clifton Duck, Tolliver. There are some really interesting DBs on this team. Guys that really I think you're going to hear their names for a long time in the NFL.
Well, the thing about that is, Aldo, what's great is you talk about this pass rush and you add young talent like that in the secondary. I mean, that's
exactly
not something that you see throughout the NFL very much. Is a deep secondary. I mean, teams are lucky to have one, let alone guys with upside at 4, 5, and 6, and that's where we're headed here with this secondary. I mean, even a guy like Mincy has showed up on a couple of plays tonight. I mean, he's bounced around in the CFL and was with the Bears last year, maybe the last 2 years on the practice squad, but they have so much depth.
There's nothing better than having defensive backs that can cover. As a defensive coordinator, forget the fact that you have the best rusher in football. That just uplifts that talent even more, to Shayne's point. But when you have defensive backs that can cover, you can be aggressive. And I know fans are clamoring for that aggressiveness with the talent you have. You add Roy Robb, Bilal Nichols, Eddie Goldman, Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Leonard Floyd. And now all of a sudden you're cooking with gas, and you really can have those transitions that you see the New England Patriots have, that they can let some of these players, say in the secondary, walk or sign with another team, and you have this young talent, and then you're getting draft capital back. You're getting cap space, and you're keeping those priority positions because you're developing young defensive backs. And that is something that has not happened here. It was a sin in my mind to let Corey Graham leave. Who's been in the league for 14 years.
Phil, since you're behind, excuse me for interrupting. Are you at the 3rd down and 4 play?
That's where we are.
Take a look at Josh Woods there.
Okay.
I think he gets beat on a run play. Let me know if I'm right.
I'm gonna watch number 55. While I wait till they line up, they're lining up. It's 3rd and 4.
You can do play by play because you're behind. So.
Oh, okay.
Way behind.
They're running inside zone, and yes, Josh Woods is playing. He comes in through the outside gap, tries to come back inside. Right. So I can't really tell. He might have C gap responsibility and almost makes a play. I have to see a replay on it.
Yeah, it's
so
difficult
fast.
to tell.
Do they give you a replay?
No, they don't.
No,
of course not. Jim Miller.
2-minute warning. Yeah.
All right, we got some questions from the people in the chat room. Steve Zimmerman wants to know when is he going to win the tweet of the week. But he also has a real question. How many?
Hold on.
Here, let me in on a little secret. Okay. Him and Barlissimo both. When you ask for it, when you tweet me your own tweet for tweet of the week, you're never going to win. Ever. Ever.
I say this about Zimmerman.
Everybody deserves a second chance.
Well, here's his second chance. He gets another question in. How many cornerbacks do you guys think that the Bears will keep? They have tons of depth there, but not enough roster spots. So, Shayne, what do you think? How many CBs are going to be on this team? You've been talking about Prince, perhaps this being his last season. So will they maybe go a little deeper with cornerbacks in anticipation that they're looking for the guy that's going to replace the starter at that cornerback position?
Do we have what? Do we remember what they came out of camp with last year,
man,
DB wise?
I thought
number wise, because I mean it's obvious Denmark is not going to see anything this year because he's obviously going to be the guy that they're going to stash.
Yep.
You can't play him and have him show some upside even a little bit with his size, with his attributes, because that's going to be a guy that's absolutely, like a team like Seattle loves guys like that.
Yep.
Right.
That's going to be a guy that's going straight to the obviously. I mean, start at the top: Kyle Fuller, Prince Amukamara, Duke Shelley. Those guys are locked. Clifton Duck is a guy that you're going to have to really, really watch to see, because nickel corner is a starting spot in the NFL, if we're being honest.
Right.
But look what happened to Bryce Callahan. You can't have enough of these guys. Buster.
Plus, they're gonna have to play specials.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and Clifton Duck has that aggressiveness to him where he's going to
talked about it with Screen. Yeah. You talked about it with Buster. You talked about it in the past with DeMontre Hurst and then Callahan. Those guys made teams because of their quick twitches and aggressiveness. But here's the good benefit to Shayne's point when he was asking us, and what was his name from ESPN who sent out the tweet about the kicker from Baltimore? You got these kind of defensive back depth. All of a sudden, the team that has a kicker that you can potentially, if you've garnered that kind of depth, be able to trade a young defensive back from your roster that you're afraid you're going to cut. Somebody doesn't want to get somebody else to claim them, and you're not going to be able to stash them. Then you can obviously use that because they're hard to find. This is a great problem to have. A great problem to have. And this defensive back, I mean, they have, kept safeties before, but if you could play both, a guy like Sherrick McManus is at 9 lives here. How is he going to come out of camp here? Now that he's playing safety, you got to see that kind of versatility, and these young talents might be able to push this roster, in a way where you got to keep an extra defensive back for special teams, because you can't allow him to be cut for fear that he lands somewhere else and has that kind of potential. This is what you're seeing here.
The Panthers have taken a 23-13 lead on a play where Jonathan Mincy just really, just got out of position. He should have had a tackle of the running back behind the line of scrimmage, and instead the running back gets past him, scores the touchdown. The extra point is good. It's 23-13.
You made a business decision right there, Aldo. Not wanting to put a body on Holyfield.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that was Elijah Holyfield Jr. Is he a junior? No. Yeah, he is a junior.
Yep.
And so with 1:41, Tyler Bray is going to start things off with a handoff to Taquan Mizell in the backfield, who picks up 12 hard-earned yards.
Mizell
in the backfield. I think Nagy is in love with Mizell. He loves that versatility. He's got him as a wide receiver. He's going to use him as a running back. If he makes this 53. Look at Tariq Cohen is over there looking and saying, "What the fuck? That's my job. What is Mizell? What is Mizell doing?" A little screen to Mizell. Mizell picks up the first down, and he cleverly gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:05 seconds.
Aldo's in the front of the bus.
It's me getting a strawberry shake.
I know.
We get a strawberry shakes in prison. FL Popo coming. Knock, knock, knock.
I know. Between me posting video and all this stuff, I'm going to spend the last 10 years of my life in the hoo-hoo.
Nothing wrong with being in the hoo-hoo.
Yeah, really. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line, 1:05 to go. Taylor Bray has three receivers to the left, a receiver to the right, and a running back to his right. He fades back to throw. He's looking deep down the middle, but he is sacked as again. Rashard Coward is just having an awful second half. And Mizell didn't help either with the pass block.
Into my wound.
Coward, we got to have him back on the show. I think we could help
him. Give him a little ego boost.
Steven Zimmerman says, knock it off at the play-by-play. The NFL is already over your ass. Yes, that is true. You know what? I got to tell you this. By the reaction of the players on the sideline, they are not at all happy with the fact that they're going to walk away with a 10-point loss today. Khalil Mack, Mitch Trubisky, the leaders of this team, they've got these sour pusses on right now, and I love to see that. Mm-hmm. They should be dissatisfied. Matt Nagy, the camera's on him right now. He doesn't look like he's ready to go out and have a drink. He is not at all happy as he crosses the sideline now to go shake the hands of Ron Rivera, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. This game is indeed over 23-13. And you know what? The result doesn't matter, but what does matter is what we have been talking about here is individual plays, individual performances, play-by-play of these guys, these young guys who are fighting for roster spots. We've been disappointed with some players and impressed by others, and we're going to get more in depth. I think the three of us are going to stick around more, and we want to hear your comments in the chat room. Tell us what you think, and I'll make sure to share it over the line. Guys, your thoughts right now as just overall thoughts before we start talking about specific players. Let me begin with you, Shayne.
Well, the first preseason game for me is always tough because you're so intoxicated by football being back. It's been, our season ended and everything, let's not forget, everything is dumbed down. Everything is vanilla. They're not going to show anything whatsoever. So you see missed plays and missed tackles and everything gets amplified. But, overall, I saw coming into the game, I wanted to see David Montgomery flash. I got to see that on a couple of plays, and he punched one in. I wanted to see a guy like I was hoping that a guy like Riley Ridley would be available. We didn't get to see that, but you just want to see your young guys. I saw Duke Shelley transfer some of the hype that we've been seeing with him and living up to it on the field and making a few plays. It's not about the end result in the preseason, although, like you said, it's about guys coming through, making plays. And we really can't, there's going to be doom and gloom tomorrow by the Chicago Tribune. I'm sure Dan Weeder and Rich Campbell are probably beating their fucking dogs right now, getting ready to write something negative because they're so happy. But what Cam Newton's got, what is he, about 7'2" with his hair now straight up in the air like that? Holy cow, I didn't even notice that. Seeing him posing for pictures. Wow.
What was Aaron Rodgers' stat line tonight?
Aaron Rodgers did not play tonight.
Okay. So remind that to David Hall and company tomorrow when they start. Oh, are you concerned about Mitch and handing off 3 times? They might lack confidence. Maybe they don't want to show him. They don't want to. That kind of shit is so dumb. And Aldo, to this point, the first preseason game, you want to see guys flash, to Shayne's point. You also want to see, your culture and what your expectation. Right. You said it at the end. These guys are kind of fucking pissed off that some of the guys that maybe they're excited about or been helping in Mac's case and Mitch's case and Cohen looking on, that they didn't show up and show out. So these are all teaching lessons. When you get up on the film room, up on the tape, and start looking at these things, this is where you decide you're 53. Because all of these guys, even down to the worst guy on the roster, whoever you think that person is,
Greg
are talented.
I'm sorry. Greg Braggs is at the game. I'm trying to add him to our call so that he can give us a firsthand account of what he saw there. Greg, of course, the co-host of Shy Fans in the Stands. There he is. We can actually see Greg, and he's saying shh. Greg, go ahead and unmute and give us a live report from Soldier Field. What'd you see?
Live.
And just what your overall reaction.
How we doing, boys?
We're doing great.
In the stands, reporting live.
There they are. Look at them.
Both Greg and Joe are with us. Guys, take it over and tell us what you saw out there.
Take it over and tell us what we saw out there.
Well, I'll tell you what. The game just wrapped up. We got some players still on the field.
I'll tell you what you saw.
Get out of here, Pete. We got my best man here. Get out of here.
Pete, 3 beers in, Pete.
Panther friend. He's my best man at my wedding. Panther fan. Don't mind him. But yes. Players just got off the field exchanging pleasantries.
Tell him he's got 2 more wins to go for the season.
The name of tonight is David Montgomery. There's no question.
There you go.
This guy on one series alone had a screen pass, a couple runs, and a touchdown run that brought this stadium out of their feet. Woo! And this guy, if he's going to play like that, they're going to be a tough team to beat. There's no question about it. The cutback ability, the broken tech ability, you saw it tonight. Joe, I'm going to let you finish it off here because, honestly,
you're going to punch that other guy in the face.
Elliott Prime might have taken a lead here, but David Montgomery has to be the story of the night tonight. What do you say, Joe?
Montgomery, absolutely the story of the night. There's a couple plays where he juked some guys straight out of their shoes. And, man, I saw it live in action, and Greg Braggs and his buddy, whatever his name is, I can't remember, Pete.
Little Bo Pete.
Little Bo Pete. Screaming in my ears all night, but we're having a good time.
Does the Panther fan want to come on and run his mouth on?
Yeah, let's put him on. Put the Panther fan
want to run his mouth on the show?
I sure do.
There he is.
All right, so we're going to let Little Bo Pete, my man.
This kid needs a haircut.
He's an exciting person, so we're going to let him just run off a few lines here because he's crazy. Here we go. Let him know. What did you think of tonight, Pete?
Well, obviously, it was a great atmosphere.
I can't even see.
I could care less about the final score. Panthers did win, but I don't know. We've lost like the last 4 times we've came here in the regular season, so that's all I'm really concerned about. Are we going to come here in the regular season and be able to win? I don't know. We don't play here in the regular season.
So maybe the playoffs.
All I know is the playoffs, and you know what? We're taking back the South this year, so y'all folks in the North better get ready.
All right.
Tell him he won a free haircut. Compliments of Bears Barroom.
We've given him a free coupon to Supercuts. Tell him.
Rise, 2 states and 1 or 2.
I apologize for my friend Pete. He is a psychopath. But right now, as I look on the field, empty field, everybody's ran in. It was a beautiful night. Nobody got hurt. And honestly, that's the biggest win of a night like tonight. We saw some things from different people like we talked about, David Montgomery, Elliott Fry. But, unfortunately, the passing game wasn't able to get going like we thought. Javon wins, Marvin Hall. Marvin Hall had a deep ball touchdown. Looked like the ball was perfectly placed, but he couldn't come out to get to it. Ian Bunting had a couple nice plays.
Ian Bunting also had a big fumble.
Yeah, he did. And luckily, Marvin Hall was able to recover it. But, just the electricity, everybody was here. It was pretty much almost a sold-out crowd. We're sitting here, second row. It's just a good way to start out the season. David Montgomery setting the tone. No better person, in my opinion, to set the tone. We've heard about how badly he wanted to get in pads and hit somebody. He got that opportunity tonight, and we saw the playmaking ability that Ryan Pace is so excited about.
Yeah, he did that. Montgomery was obviously great, but let's talk a little bit about Chase Daniel, guys. I mean, he did not look great out there right now tonight. He threw a couple.
I didn't think so either. Yeah.
I mean, you guys saw on Twitter what I put out there of his terrible sack that he took. We probably should have threw that away, and just didn't look sharp. And neither of the quarterbacks, him or Bray, no one looked sharp. Sorry for the background noise, but overall, the offense didn't look great. But Montgomery is the story of the show. And let's be honest, everyone's excited. The football season's getting fired up, and Shy Fans in the Stands are here, and we're drinking beer. So it's a good day.
Joe, can we get you to rip your shirt off and run to the 50-yard line and do some Bears barroom stuff?
I'll tell you what, my buddy Pete, he took his shirt off earlier and is scared about everyone off in this section.
Well, actually, his buddy Pete took his shirt off, and some guy on the way out looked at him and said, "Nice nipples."
Must have been
We got a lot going on here. You never know. Well, yeah, strawberry shake. He's strawberry shaking it, no doubt. Well, we apologize. Honestly, it's a little hard of hearing. Everybody's here, so we're just trying to give you the in-live update of how it feels here. Everybody's starting to clear out. But we appreciate you guys. And, we've been telling everybody to tune in tonight. We look forward to listening in tomorrow of all the breakdown. But, just not much doing tonight. Apart from David Montgomery, there's just not too much to speak on other than a healthy football team. And that's all you can ask for after week 1 of the preseason. We saw Mitch Trubisky come out here and take a first series. So next week, I expect him to play a couple more series, and maybe we might see a throw or two. Who knows? But, for this day, nobody got hurt. David Montgomery flashed.
Yes.
The kicking competition.
What was you and Joe? What was your feelings on Roy Robertson Harris out there? What was the vibe?
He made some Yeah, he was making some plays.
We're getting kicked out.
We want to see. We got a couple turnovers. From Deion Bush and from how about our guy Josh Woods with the forced fumble. Roy, he looked good out there. He got a lot of snaps, which I was surprised to see for a guy that of his stature. This is a guy that was a dominant force last year. So, but it was great to see Josh Woods be able to make a couple plays, and hopefully we can see the rest of these guys show out. But it's hard to take it all in. You got a lot going on, and we just appreciate all your time, and we don't want to. We know you guys got a good show cooking up, so we don't want to ruin too much more of your time, but we wanted to give you an inside feel of what's going on since we were second row right here. We're supposed to be in the game-winning end zone, but unfortunately Tyler Bray wasn't able to pull it off. So, we appreciate everything you guys do, and we'll try. Hopefully we'll bring a W to you week 3 against the Colts. We're on the road for the Giants, so we won't be there, but week 3. Shy fans in the stands, you can bet your bottom dollar we'll be there.
Sounds good. Hey, we'll let you go and tell Peter that Ryan D'Onofrio said to go fuck off.
Well, certainly will do so, sir.
Take care.
No. All right, Greg. No one liked Pete.
Take care, Joe.
Nobody.
Yeah, Pete was very unpopular in the chat room.
I can only imagine.
I actually felt the same way as Ryan D'Onofrio felt. Steven Zimmerman has a question for you, Phil. He'd like you to give a quick synopsis on the following 5 players: David Montgomery, Rashad Coward, Chase Daniel, Duke Shelley, and Deion Bush. So make believe you're on a kind of rapid fire and share your thoughts on Montgomery, Coward, Daniel, Shelley, and Bush based on what you saw tonight.
Is it Chase Daniel, he said?
Chase Daniel, correct.
All right, just throw them out after I finish. Montgomery, obviously, Greg touched on it. I will say it. This is a guy I thought compared favorably to Matt Forte and Jordan Howard pieced together. And what you saw out there is that he sparked the whole team. What did he do at Iowa State? He carried the team. Here's a young kid coming into a team that's built ready to go and ready to go to the Super Bowl. You add somebody with this kind of instincts as a rusher, as a receiver, as a runner. And there's a difference between a rusher and a runner. A runner understands lanes when they're clogged and how to get out of them. This kid has balance on contact. You saw it reveal itself today. There's a couple of 4 or 5 yard runs where he's just carrying people, putting his hand down. Dare I say it, Aldo, like a young Walter Payton, fighting for those yards. You see that kind of character in preseason. You don't see a prima donna here. So, yeah, you guys wanted to bubble wrap him. Totally agree, because you saw the excitement. You're getting a thoroughbred here at running back. Chase Daniel, quarterback, second string guy. He's the guy, there's limitations to his game. You want to see him release the football. I didn't agree with Joe and Greg keeping it 100. I thought the Marvin Hall throw from Tyler Bray was the issue, not Hall at all.
With you.
That was totally on it. That kid should have thrown that ball out. That's 6. He missed another one. But Chase, getting back to that, Chase just, he's a guy. And that's how I see Chase lining up with this football team. A good fit in the offense, a guy that's going to make a play, and hopefully he catches lightning in a bottle and gets hot. A Ryan Fitzpatrick type of football player that you're getting at quarterback. That's where he compares. So tonight, I wasn't too down. I'm with Shayne on Daniel, and I believe that kid, he's got to be better than that. He's got to get rid of the football and do the thing. Get it in the playmaker thing, especially in the preseason. Go for the freaking 3-yard out and let the kid make a play. Just try to get that. So, and who was the other guys, Aldo, again? So you got Montgomery, Daniel.
Rashad Coward.
Rashad Coward. I was so excited about this football player in the first half. Like I said earlier in the show, this is a coach's dream. A guy with talent, tenacity. He's got the two T's there. Now you have to get him the technique, that third T.
Right.
He lost technique.
Now he's got tape.
Exactly.
Of the screw ups. And this is where your offensive line coach steps up.
Exactly.
He's going to put him on blast for this.
Exactly.
And then it's back on Rashad's shoulders.
And
you're either going to grow from it or you're going to crumble.
We're going to see how Rashad responds when he goes and plays the Giants next week. That's where you want to see the growth. So we at Bears Bar, we're going to put a spotlight on him next week, Aldo, and watch his growth for this football team. And we can alleviate players, because if he doesn't grow and he continues to flop or miss technique, then you're going to have to move on, or you're going to have to trade one of these young DBs and find, because the talent's there. The technique tonight was lost, and Aldo pointed that out because he's 6 minutes ahead of me on the feed. But my excitement for the guy is still there. Again, we ain't cutting that football player, but I'm not concerned. I'm excited about who is he going to be next week. Yes. And who is the next one?
The next one was Duke Shelley.
Duke Shelley, to me, a couple plays, I got to see more. I was concerned about his physicality. What you saw Duck have is it just pops off. You can't hide from that. That's why I always say, when the lights come on, who is it going to be? Everybody could look great in practice.
Right.
Who's going to be out there in front of people's eyes? Mm-hmm. Like, I lived for that. So there I know what I want to see from a player. Shelley, to me, flashed a couple plays, had a good break on one where it was a completion. So, again, he's another guy I want to see. I know a lot of people are anointing this kid because of the athletic traits, but Screen, to me, is a fucking slam dunk. Right. Like, nobody's beating that guy out. Nobody. But it's good to have this kind of competition, because I think, to Shayne's point about Duck, if that kid can play outside, which you see, and then he can go inside because he has the traits, the two-way go type of player, then you got a freaking another undrafted piece of gold. Roy Robertson Harris, undrafted. That's a piece of fucking gold.
Yep.
Now you got another one here in Duck, possibly. Want to see him build off of this game. Want to see that. Josh Woods was the other one, right?
He didn't mention Josh Woods,
but go ahead.
But go ahead and give us an evaluation of Josh, and Shayne jump in too.
Josh has got to clean it up, because the talent is there. The cleaning it up, like, again, you wanted me to grade that play, but I wanted to keep it 100 to the fan base. I don't know. He could have C-gap responsibility and recognize the running backs take it off. Yep. There must be a hole, and then it looks bad on him. Right. That's where the coach's tape. By the way, tape never lies. It doesn't. you look at it and then I know, okay, he should have fucking made that play. And then I'll bring it back and forth and show you exactly to the T. There's no doubting or questioning. This isn't fucking sausage links here. I'm going to tell you and show you and spotlight some of these fucking players and give you the reality. But Josh Woods, Shane, the kid's athletic. He can jump out the gym. He's got the right disposition. He's a character. He's playing confident, but there was a couple plays, and every one of those backers except Roquan Smith, to me,
mental lapse.
Had mental. Yeah, go ahead.
You talk about the demeanor and him making a play, and you see that, he's getting hyped up and jumping up and down and screaming. You could literally hear him screaming through the TV. But if you're going to do that and you're going to draw attention to yourself after you make a good play, you have to go out there and do it again. You can't go out there and miss your gap and then give up a big play like that. It doesn't go in the NFL. You can't do it. I mean, one big play can ruin an entire season. No matter when it happens. But still young in the position and let's be honest, one thing with Josh Woods, he's still young in his body. Right. He's transformed his body completely, and that's one thing that we can't forget about with him. But the traits, the speed, the explosion, the athleticism, you can't. That's not something that you're going to teach. He's got it. They just have to. Chuck Pagano, the linebacker coach, they just have to harness that and get him locked in where he's going to make plays on a down in and down out basis.
Guys, let's go to Coach Nagy at the podium.
And handoffs, but I just think, and there was other guys too that played the same amount. Same thing, preparation. How do you handle yourself? And it's always good for everybody to just get a little bit prepared with that.
Was there a plan for David Montgomery? Certain plays you wanted to see him run, or what was your overall with him?
Yeah, we didn't put him in on certain plays. He was when he was in, whatever I called was going to be what he got. But you also, for me as a play caller, you have some plays that you have an idea going into what you want to give him. And so the opportunities that he had was everything that we thought he could do. He runs hard. He runs really, really hard. He runs violent. He's angry when he runs, and he's tough to bring down with that first defender. So we like that. And you can see what he could do in the pass game as well. Made some nice catches and run after the catch. And then he made a nice play on special teams too, saving that return. He wanted more. He that kid won't stop, but I told him he's no more. He's done. Well, you know what, Dan, you're gonna laugh a little bit, but see, when you're calling plays, you're always kind of prepping yourself for the next play. And so I just heard everybody in the background doing some oohs and ahs. And so I'd be lying if I told you I saw the whole thing. I gotta see it,
When he came off the field, you put your arm around him and said something. What was your message to him?
I just told him. I said, there's gonna be plenty more of those,
Did you like Alex Barnes had a nice block? What have you seen in camp from him?
Well, he had a nice block. You said. Oh, okay. Yeah. Again, all those guys are working hard. They're put in tough spots, but they know that, we tell them, you have no regrets. You young guys, you get opportunities like this. It goes on tape and everybody sees what you can do. So this is your chance. Don't leave any regrets. We're going to go back tomorrow and watch all the tape. And to me, that's the fun part. You get to really see what you have in front of you. So
sounds familiar.
I hope all the guys had a bunch of good blocks.
Do you appreciate the symbolism of the 43-yard field goal?
Yeah, you could sense it. You could certainly feel it. You could sense it from everybody, all the fans. And then I looked over and I said, after the completion down the middle, and then they spotted it. And, I'm so used to seeing, my math is really good right now. I can figure out real quick how far a field goal kick is from the spot of the ball. So I realized great. it was 43, right? Am I right saying that? So, yeah. So, I mean, and then Coach Rivera goes ahead and pops a timeout too. So.
Yeah. He did.
No, it wasn't planned, but I'm kind of glad he did it. It's good. Yeah, it's big. We want these guys to make every single kick. And Eddie missed that 48-yard field goal tonight, slightly wide left. But then he did make his other shorter field goal. Elliott made his extra point. So we're going to, we'll go through this thing and let them see what kind of production they show us. And this was the big stage tonight for them. It's as big as we can get it before the season starts.
What's your reaction on Eddie's miss?
Exactly.
Honestly, it's been the same as it's been in practice. If there's a miss here or there, I want to see, is this a deal now when okay, it's going to be now another miss coming up, or are they going to come back and bang and get 3 points, And so how is he going to recover mentally as we go? How strong are you mentally in practice coming back from that? And then the next time you get back out there. So those results I don't know yet.
I assume you have a reason for everything you do. With Trubisky today, what's the purpose of this day when he only plays?
Here it is.
I was just telling him earlier here, is that it's, mentally preparing himself. All these guys, there was other guys that just played a few plays, and I just think it's so important for some guys, and it could be good for Mitch too. That's why I did it, was just to mentally stay prepared, pregame warm-ups, before the game. When you get out there, the pat and go, getting underneath the lights, taking snaps from center, and even though it was just a couple handoffs, I feel like that part is good for him.
You feel like he's on a good track right now for where we're at in the calendar?
Yeah, no doubt. I feel really good about where he's at.
Because what's the confidence?
The what?
What's your confidence rooted in?
Well, everything he's doing in practice right now. He's making great protection checks. His reads right now with where he's going with the football. Last year at this time, we were trying to figure out what plays he likes and doesn't like, and we know the library. We know what plays to call and not call. We're forcing some things. I'm telling them, hey, take this, force this a little bit, see what you can do.
Exactly.
And then, that's what he's doing. And we don't want to just check down Charlie all in 7-on-7 all the time. So I tell him, throw it into double and triple coverage. Just test the throw and see if you can do it.
You hear that, Chicago Tribune?
What kind of abilities really stand out to you from what you've seen of him since bringing him?
Yeah, you can feel his speed. If he gets to the edge and he bounces. And then I also like that he stuck his shoulder pads down and lowered the boom a little bit, which was good. And showed that contact. So I'm glad he came back. From that hamstring that he had. He came back. He fought back and got ready to go. And it's going to be a nice 3 weeks for him here coming up.
I had a chance to challenge a PI. What's
your
curiosity with that, just as these next few weeks go?
Sure. So, in the game, if that was a regular season game, I probably wouldn't have challenged it. But why not test it out now? Those guys need to work too. I need it. They need it. Let's see where it's at. And you don't need to do it. Like the one in the end zone, again, I think that both of the calls were the right. They ended up making the right calls, which is all. That's all we want. Just make the right call and let's get it right. And if I flip myself on the other side, I thought that they made the right calls on both of them. So that's why I didn't challenge the second one. But in the preseason, I think it's just time to test it out a little bit.
So you saw everything you see from Roquan?
Yeah, that was good. I was good. I think it was like 5 plays he was in.
The alley-oop.
I was good if it was 2 or 3,
With Ian Bunting, he's kind of playing, like tonight, he probably played more of an expanded role than he ever played in college. What is it that you like about what he brings to the table in your offense?
Well, I like his size. He's a big kid. He's super smart. He's really smart. He has really big hands, which a lot of times when people have big hands, they're natural catchers. He's a natural pass catcher. We're testing him out in a run game. We're testing him out in pass protection. And just as you said, his experience is a little bit limited at Michigan and Cal with what he's done. But this is just a really good opportunity for him to see how much can he digest in his playbook. And then when the plays come to him, when he gets a chance to make a play, does he make it? And he did a good job with that. He executed everything we asked him to do, and it was productive for him.
Matt, with Montgomery, has it been a steady progression for him, or has it been choppy for a rookie? How's it been since the day you got him in the building?
No, it's been really steady and just completely in one direction. He really hasn't. OTAs was a lot of pass games, so he got good at that. Then we get to training camp and we get to put the pads on and see mentally, playbook wise, what can he digest. I think you can see his arrows up, and he wanted more carries. I would have loved to give him more carries, but you just have to be smart.
What do you think of having him play special teams while he's running the offense?
Yeah, that's I come from the Arena League, so I'm about where we can use you, we'll use you. And with even guys like Mike Davis, obviously Tariq as a returner, any place you can use these guys, as long as you're smart about it and you use them the right way, that's what we'll do. And we'll be smart about it in the preseason.
It has to be reassuring, though. I mean, obviously, when you draft a guy, you think can do all this. But with that specific position, for him to execute tonight in a live setting with real tackling.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me one bit, not at all. I wish you guys could have been in the interviews at the Combine. I wish you could have been in the interviews in my office.
Give us an invite.
I wish you could be in the huddle in OTAs. I wish you could see how he was last night. I mean, this kid's DNA is rare. And I don't want to overblow. He's got a ways to go. I don't want to make him the next, great back in this, in this great organization. But he's heading in the right direction, and that's. But he's got great people around him, and he's just get a little bit better every day.
Are you comfortable if Mitch's next pass in the game is in September?
Yes. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Wow. You know what?
Wow.
He just said David Montgomery is going to be the next Walter Payton. I know he said that's not what he was saying, but that's what he was saying.
Right. Think about a head coach is not putting himself out there like that unless he 100% believes it.
Yep.
They got to be pretty comfortable to make a statement like that, and the fact that he did tells you there should be a lot of smiling Bears fans.
That's right. You walk away. You guys want to listen to Chase Daniel talk? He's at the podium.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, here he comes.
Preseason football.
Is it a productive day nonetheless for you?
I thought it was. I thought that, for the most part, we played mistake-free football. Took some sacks, and it's the first preseason game. So there's going to be some mistakes. I thought there were a little bit too many penalties on the offensive side of the ball. We'll look and figure out the why and why that happened. But for the most part, it was good to get out there and get hit a little bit. Us as quarterbacks, we were talking about it in there. From January to, August, we're not getting touched at all in practice. So, once I took that first sack, got hit pretty good, just sort of woke me up, and we were able to roll from there.
Montgomery was pretty involved out there. What was it like running the show with him? Got the ball to a couple times, throwing it in and off.
Well, he's a really smart guy, first and foremost. And in this offense, you need smart running backs. And he just didn't seem nervous out there. He didn't seem anxious for a rookie running back playing in his first, preseason game. So that's a good thing. Didn't have any mental errors out there. It's fun to watch him run. Once you sort of hand the ball off in the gun and he just makes all these cuts, like couldn't imagine making cuts like he made, especially on the touchdown run. There was nothing there. And he made a touchdown out of it. So it was impressive. Obviously, he was on a little bit of snap count, but it was cool to watch him.
The throw you had to Bunting right before the pass instead of the field goal. Can you just go through that play a little bit?
Yeah, what I loved about it was the fact that we were in a 2-minute drive, and it started with our defense getting the ball back, and we were pinned back a little bit in our own red zone, and we just wanted to get out there. I think there was 55 seconds left on the clock, something like that. We wanted to just get a completion, get the drive rolling. We were able to get a couple completions, and we called a play four verticals, and they were in the perfect coverage for it. They were in single high coverage, and he was matched up on a linebacker, and he had a step on him. I saw the linebacker sort of even off with his feet, and was able to just loft it right over him, and he did the rest, getting us into the field goal range, and it's stuff we practice every day in practice. So for us to actually come out here and do it in a game, it was cool. We called a timeout with 4 seconds left. We kicked the field goal, made the field goal. We start the second half with the ball, so you sort of can double dip right there, and that's a dream scenario. So it was good to get that on the film, and we'll watch it and we'll learn from it.
It's a lot's been talked about how much Mitch is in his second year and so forth. As you look around the huddle, all the rest of the guys, do you notice from last year to this year, down the linemen, everybody, just a general knowledge of the system?
More than a general knowledge, it's a calmness too, especially the receiver room. This offense puts a lot on the receiver room, especially with splits and route adjustments and everything that could possibly go on. And I'm constantly talking to A-Rob, even at practice. He's like, man, it feels so much better just to come out here and play ball instead of think. You're not thinking about this.
Right.
When there's a check to be made, they know what Mitch is making the check. So they're not having to think about what it is. They're in their books constantly studying, and we're just trying to build off that momentum.
Good question by Mullen.
Yeah.
That was an important point.
I think we got enough there, so let's comment on some of the things that were said.
Well, let's start here with Mullen's question, which is probably one of the better ones, because every criticism known to man goes on Mitch, who was learning the offense with everybody else learning the offense too. Right. And that kind of command and, quarterback, it comes with the position, it comes with the blame, it comes with the glory, and you win, you lose, yada, yada, yada. But the reality is it's the ultimate team sport. So how were these guys learning and going and understanding blitz pickups and adjustments? And he was talking about the receiver room, which was great because we were all high on Anthony Miller. And then we hear later he's not quite grasping it. So year 2, including Allen Robinson coming over here off injury, all of that. So to hear that, it just goes to show you where this football team offensively, is going to go. And you add this my favorite back in the draft. I can't say that enough, that you got him in the 3rd round. This kid is special, and he's got special traits. To hear your coach act so, would say, excited, but trying to temper that excitement, but can't help it. That's like me talking about barroom. I get excited about what we're doing here, and you can't help but hear it in Nagy's voice. He's so excited about that young football player. And every Bears fan should, not just because he scored a touchdown, but all the little things. And he could have made a better effort on a blitz pickup, and all those things are going to be coached up. So that I just excited about the plan and the culture and how these guys are transparent and the excitement with these young players growing in this system year 2. That's not just, a Trumpism that we're going to parade on a political journey through football season. This is something they really believe in. And I think you heard Chase say it, quiet confidence.
Shayne?
No, I totally agree. Aldo, I want to, before I forget on this, I don't know if you got the text that I sent you. I just want to.
Yeah.
The Bobby pick or?
No. No, well, there's 2 of them. The Kari Vedvik now has punts for 53 and 58 yards tonight to go along with being 3 for 3 on field goals and 2 for 2 on extra points.
They're just playing them out there to get them traded.
Going off of these press conferences, this is from Carolina's perspective. One of their beat reporters asked Ron Rivera about icing the kicker in the 2nd quarter, and he very transparently admitted he did it to help the Chicago Bears because he knows they're trying to figure out their kicker situation.
Oh, that is class.
Ron Rivera will always be a Chicago Bear.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just that's such a
great point, Aldo.
Yeah, it's a great question by that Carolina beat reporter. Things that we don't see, unfortunately, in Chicago enough. Good questions, but that's like you said. I mean, major props to Ron Rivera, because that's a huge thing. Like that. I don't think you see a lot of people doing something like that. To help out another team like that, to put them in a position even though it's a kicker, but it's something that I'm pretty impressed by that anyway.
Well, even in these games, Aldo, you say he's a Chicago Bear and what have you, but it's important to practice what you're preaching, in life as well as football. So to do it, it's also a scrimmage. So you're both helping each other. That kind of class, though, to do that, I know Aldo's 100% right. That also, I think the push of the shot in the arm is the fact that he's a Bear. Yeah. And always will be.
Pretty cool stuff. Let's listen into David Montgomery. He was talking to Laura Screeden, your girlfriend, Shayne.
Yeah.
And again,
I wouldn't be complaining if she was.
And again, this is courtesy of the Chicago Bears, just like the press conference material was. Let's see what she's got to say with David.
Here with David Montgomery after the game, first touchdown at Soldier Field. How'd it feel?
It was crazy. It's just a real moment for me, coming from where I came from and, giving the kids back at home hope and making it possible. So I'm excited. I'm just ready to get back to work and go do it again.
Yeah, did reality sink in when you had the fans cheering your name under the lights like this?
Oh, for sure. It definitely kicked in fast, I'm grateful. I'm humbled and honored. I'm grateful that God gave me the opportunity to be here.
Great game, David. Thanks.
Guy is a special dude.
Here with David Montgomery.
All right. We already heard that.
Calm down, honey.
He's back here with David.
Can't wait to get back to work. That's exactly what you want to hear from a rookie running back like that. Not running your mouth off, saying, talking about how you got into the end zone and doing that. You can't wait to get back. Can't wait to get to New York. Can't wait to get back to camp, to get back to work, because that's exactly what counts. And that, Matt Nagy said, I wish you guys could be at the combine with us in these meetings, because that's
even the meeting last night.
Right, that's who this kid is.
Right.
Everybody said he's a tireless worker. They'd go by the weight room at 2:30 in the morning, and he's there. And then the next week he's got him and the offensive line there. The next week the defense is there with David Montgomery. That's you talk about leaders. You talk about, doing the little things. That's who David Montgomery is. He's built his entire career thus far off of doing the little things to perfection every single day. Is he a speed demon? No. Is he the most athletic football player there is? No. But he does the little things that matter, and that always translates to the NFL field. It does.
Let's stay here real quick on rookies working hard and the culture. Everything I wanted to talk about in my notes tonight, Shayne just spoke on. I don't know if either one of you, I know maybe some of you Barflies and Bears fans, I live for football, so I've watched Hard Knocks, episode 1. Have either one of you?
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this now?
Yeah, you're going to go on Abraham, their first rounder.
So I'm going to talk about their first round pick, Aldo. And you talk about a culture. You talk about a coach getting $10 million, and he's struggling. I could see this young rookie thinks his shit doesn't fucking stink. I would throw his ass into the fucking get him off the field, because he's talking and he's hitting people and he's trying to. Everything's about him. Remember how be you and be us. This is not a.
Did you hear him get up talking to
fucking
David Carr at dinner when he took him out to dinner? Yeah. You got $120 million, baby. Your kids don't have to work. I don't want to work like that. You got $120 million, and then he's just.
He was so bad. My wife is watching it with me, Aldo, and she turns to me.
Douche chills, man. That was terrible.
Like, this kid is an asshole. They'll never win with that. She knows.
Yep.
That's what these meetings are for, that Nagy. I wish you were there at the combine. We don't get to, Danny Shimon and Berlissimo and Badge and Shayne and me, and we don't get to sit down with every prospect like these pros do to get to know them. With Montgomery, I'm getting back to work. And I'm just saying it for Bears fans to know that your coach built the culture here. And these rookies, as well as veterans, are buying into it. And it's such a beautiful thing to see. And you add the young talent developing, defensive backs, wide receivers, something we've never seen. All of us admitted that. Now you're cooking with gas. And it really is impressive to see this young rookie.
You think Allen Robinson's going over to France and doing a cryo treatment with improper footwear to get frostbite? Like, have you ever heard of anything
I don't even hear this story.
Oh, you didn't hear this?
Antonio
No.
Brown, man. You see his feet? He's got severe frostbite on his beat. He did that. What is it called? Cryotherapy.
Yeah. Where they basically
went into it with
They didn't
improper
say it
filter.
on Hard Knocks. They fucking edited that shit out.
It hasn't happened yet. It'll be in the next episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
But did you see Aldo, did you see the picture of his feet?
No, I missed that. No.
Ugh. Somebody had it on Twitter. I mean, it's like, good Lord. It's that.
Yeah, they got a bad culture there.
Thank God we own their second round pick. That's all I'm going to say.
Really? Because that's going to be the 33rd pick in the draft.
Yeah. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Honestly,
so we're going to.
It could be a
happen.
fucking back-to-back pick. Imagine that shit.
Oh, man.
Like, holy fuck.
That would be awesome.
32 and 33, the Bears are on the clock. And then, remember all the fleecers?
Yeah.
Now, who got fleeced now?
But you're exactly right. You're talking about the culture, Phil. I didn't get to watch the entire episode, but I had it on for probably a good solid, 30, 35 minutes. And you could just feel it. I'm watching it and I'm like, oh man, I am so glad this is not my team, because you just, you see the behind the scenes stuff with the Bears and you know that it's an all for one mentality. You know what I mean?
You got something special. I don't think we've talked about it when Fox was here. We fucking did. How important this was. This fucking coach comes to the podium tonight and is laughing and is being fucking honest with you.
Right.
He's excited about this football team. The players are buying into it. The talent's there. All these fucking Bear fans that have been lost are coming back in droves. And we'll take you here at Bears Ballroom because I don't give a fuck. If you're a fan, you're a fan. Come here and listen to the truth. But know this, that head coach, that GM are so important to what they're building there and believing. So stay aware of this, the reality of the difference between somebody like Abraham and what you're getting. Because, these fucking, not to go off way back, but these draft gurus and all these fucking rankings and this, and they're banging on talent and they're fighting and infighting. There's a missing piece, that personality. Is this guy going to buy? Does he love football? How many times you get burned by that? This kid loves football. I am so fucking excited about David Montgomery. So excited about this football player. Because you think about it, Jordan Howard's gone. Tariq Cohen had his issues. This was a piece of the puzzle that needed to be there. And right off the rip. And the other guys look great too. So it's good stuff coming out of Chicago. Go ahead, Aldo.
I was just going to say, I'm taking a look at the local newspapers here in town. The Chicago Sun-Times, Mark Potash writes a story called That's What We're Talking About. David Montgomery shines in debut. The subtitle, It's Only the Preseason, but Bears rookie running back shows a glimpse of his potential impact with a 7-yard touchdown and 23-yard catch versus the Panthers. And so that is just emblematic of what the Chicago media is focused on. Just like Braggs and our guy Joe Mandel. Is it Mandel or Mandel? I'm all fucked up now.
Mandel.
Mandel.
It's
okay.
not Mandel.
Yeah, I said Mandel a week or two ago.
You want to hear Joey real quick?
Here's the ringy ring ring.
The ringy ring ring.
Yes, Joe, there will be some sort of song in your future. There's the ringy ring
Sounds
ring.
like the Lauren Cox rigatoni or whatever the fuck he said.
All set-a-rooney there, boss.
We are set-a-rooney once again.
We put both of them together. There's the ringy ring ring.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Let me hear that again. The Joe Mandel.
Want to hear it again?
Yes,
Hold on,
please.
I gotta. Oh my god! When I heard it, I'm like, this I asked Shayne. I texted him right away. I go, "There's the ringy ding ding." He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I go, "I'm so excited. I got a drop from Joe. He better not delete it from the podcast." Was my worry all 24 hours so I could do this.
Here's the ringy ring ring.
Way to go, Joe. Dan Wiederer over at the Chicago Tribune writes,
"Oh, boy.
The sneak peek was tantalizing, a glimpse of what should be a regular occurrence at Soldier Field this fall on first and go from the Panthers 7. Midway through the second quarter, Bears running back David Montgomery took a handoff, found the hole in front of him, and closed quickly. And scored a touchdown, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, just to continue my point, the Chicago media is gaga over David Montgomery, just like they should be.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
How do you who would be the asshole other than EA Sports to have anything negative on this kid?
Well,
you know what I mean?
EA.
Let me do a quick Google search just to make sure, because there's got to be somebody.
Someone didn't think he was good. I got it.
Jason Locken. Just do a Google search. Jason Lockenfora and David Montgomery. There's got to be something there.
I just said we need a turnover. We got it.
I was like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is I'm partying with. Fucking Bob.
I don't know his name. Jason.
There's the ring.
How are the newlyweds adjusting to the married life?
We got a single bachelor update from Aldo. Let's get the married update.
Yeah.
They are doing great. They're very happy. They're back from Aruba, although they did have an ATV accident.
Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah, they went off-roading on
I
one
was
of those.
in Aruba, too.
Yeah.
I know. It
can be
this
a little
is the part
dangerous.
where you let him talk, Phil.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Holy shit, you got me nervous.
They were off-roading on an ATV, and both of them flew off the bike. Both sustained scratches and bruises. And but I talked to her the day afterwards, and she was fine and happy and recalling the incident in the very same manner that she called me the night that she was running away from police and at college and said, "I knew you'd be proud of me, Dad." She was at
all right. Now the next question is: you've had a couple of weeks. How's Dad's bank account?
Let me put it to you this way. My wife said, "So when you're at camp, I know you got to eat and stuff, but make sure you go eat at McDonald's."
I know. My father raised two daughters, and when they both got married, I mean, the first one, my dad would just sit over in the corner and shake his head. He's like, "Yeah, all you can do is say yes and get the checkbook out."
There you go. Adam Hogue is tweeting out that when Matt Nagy was talking about he's got a ways to go, I don't want to make this, referring to David Montgomery, the next great back in this organization. He was looking over at Jarrett Payton when he said that.
Wow.
Wow. See?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I had a feeling that was the reference.
You did.
Yeah.
You called it.
I did call it.
You
So one of my few ones.
For the record, if you were listening live, you would have been amazed by this guy. 6 minutes ahead, he's calling out plays. Then tonight he calls the Peyton.
Yeah.
You know what? That gets me. I could buy 2 jerseys tonight. We got to bring Bear up, Bear down back.
Yeah,
guys.
we should.
Forgot.
Should we do that? No.
Shit.
I can find it.
Fucking Bears ballroom.
Here's a little Packer update, and this is from @Packers for the win. Is Rashawn Gary hurt? That play with 44 seconds left when he's at right defensive end looks like he's favoring and protecting his left shoulder. Let me know what you think if you watch it again. It looks very suspicious after he tried to run off. I have no idea, but I don't think he's been back. I'm starting to get nervous.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sure he's somewhere crying.
Yeah.
We shouldn't laugh when a player is injured, but we're only doing that because of all the bullshit Packer fans talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, come on. They always fucking talk that shit.
There you go.
I heard it.
It wasn't me.
Was it?
It had to be you.
Shayne. I know Shayne carries my songs in his phone, so I know it must have been him.
I do. They're in my recycle bin.
You want me to send it to you?
No, I got it. I found it. I just got to transfer it over to you. I got a different setup here.
Dan intro version?
Oh, that's a good.
Doesn't.
That's a good point. I don't know if we do. Let me.
Look at the blue check mark.
Who's that? Who is that? The kid from Goonies? The guy?
Was it?
No.
Oh, sloth.
Wrong one.
When you go.
Should I tweet that out? Bobby posted that picture. Should I tweet that? Reply to him?
Oh, please. Absolutely.
The way he breaks our balls.
We are currently posting right now. Hold on a second. Let me find it.
Bear up, bear down. Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. They're watching the tape and weighing. The game is done. The Bears have lost or won. They're playing. The boys are grading.
This is Bear Up, Bear Down, and that was the short version that Shayne begged me to edit together.
Thank you. Fucker goes to Family Fest. He's playing the whole fucking song. I had to chime in. I'm like, can you play the fucking short version, please?
For the record, I have to make them full so he could fade out. If the producer is not awake at the wheel, I don't want to hear Greg Braggs Jr. and Shayne breaking my balls for the creativity and the level of professionalism this show has, the quality.
That is right. That is absolutely right. All right, this is the part of the show where Shayne and Phil pick a bear up, bear down player. Bear up being a player that they thought had an excellent night, and a bear down player, a player who did not meet expectations. And we always start with the bear down player because we want to get the bad news out of the way first. And I'm spinning the bottle here, and it lands on Shayne Marsaw. You go first. Bear down.
Well, we touched on him, and we're going to stay on the offensive line. Friend of the barroom, Rashad Coward. You know, you have your swing tackle is completely up in the air. Is it going to be, Clemmings? Who's it going to be? Everybody, I think we're going into this thinking that Coward has it sewed up, and right now it's completely in question. Phil brought up a great point that this is where coaching, where Harry Hiestand becomes so critical.
Yes,
is tomorrow when he reviews this with the team, puts him on blast. Now, let's be honest, he's going to be put on blast, and he deserves to be put on blast. It's going to be how he reacts and how he steps up next week, because this is where everything comes into play when you're an undrafted guy that was, started out on defense, going over on offense. He can either take this and ascend even more, or we may never hear from him again. Yep. You just don't know. That's where it's critical. And he's to the point now in his process where he's got to take that step.
Right.
He's got to take that coaching. So I was very disappointed with what I saw from him, because he was a guy that I was expecting to really shine, right from the get-go. And be an integral part of this offensive line moving forward. So this is a really, really big week coming up for Rashad Coward. Really big week.
Totally agree with you. And I'll give you one other thing regarding Rashad Coward. I've been to 5 or 6 of the open camps, and I have not seen him at left tackle at all. So when we're talking about swing tackle, I'm not sure that was the plan for Rashad Coward. I wonder if they didn't instead kind of think that he would be the right tackle, right guard replacement, and that they aren't thinking of the same thing at the left tackle, left guard. That's something that we have to look at. That's probably a question for the Brad Biggs mailbag at the Chicago Tribune, because he gets the inside dope on stuff. But I'm gonna be out there again on Saturday, and that's one of the things I'm going to focus on. Harry Heastan had a very animated drill section with his offensive linemen. I was too far to hear what he was saying, but just by his body language, he was not at all happy with some of the. It appeared to me that he was not at all happy with some of the play from some of the guys. He was very complimentary towards Kyle Long, but with some of the other players, he was like for instance, Bobby Massey. He was very animated in his instruction to him, and I imagine that on Saturday, the open practice, he's going to be very animated with Rashad Coward. So we'll take a look at that. Draft Dr. Phil, you got a comment on what that is hilarious. Did you tweet that out already?
Tweeted it out.
Oh,
it's been tweeted. I tagged Barroom, Tailgate, and Aldo in it, and hashtag twins. Poor Poppy.
We are laughing at a tweet that Shayne Marsaw sent out at 10:59 p.m. Central Time, 11:59 Eastern Time. It's a picture of our Bobby Bombs and the guy from the Goonies, and the similarity. Sloth. That's his name.
Baby Ruth. Did you put Baby Ruth in there?
I should have.
Yes.
Fuck. Can they ever get a fucking edit button on Twitter for fuck?
I know.
I know.
What the hell? I'll give away a couple characters. Put the edit button.
I'm only coming back if they do.
All right, Phil. I'll be coming back if they do. I love it.
Nerds everywhere.
Give me
my
your bear.
nerd. My bear down. Shayne took mine because I was gonna put him on blast because I want this friend of the bar to succeed. I want him to be what I thought. And to you, just to touch base, I felt exactly like both of you. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see him, and I feel like, well, if I'm taking that away, this is good. Let's see what Harry does with him. My bear down can go to 2 guys, but
give us both of them. Give us both of them.
Well, Tyler Bray to me was a bear down, and I'll tell you why. You had opportunities to carry the culture. I'm not really worried about whether Tyler's going to make. He had opportunities to make touchdown throws and make excitement in the thing for the win and all of that stuff. Winning is just like losing is a disease. Winning is just a cure-all. So just watching what I saw live again, I just felt like he was an absolute disappointment. He could have put 14 to 21 points on the board by hitting on his anticipation. So, yeah, that's my bear down. And I was a little bit disappointed in Mincy tonight. Mm-hmm. A couple times he's come in clean and missed and then made a business decision. I wasn't expecting that out of him tonight. He was another guy. I know Shayne's high on him. I like the kid. I thought he was going to be that second-year guy that feels the fire from these young bucks coming in, and he would really show up. But he, to me, didn't play his best games when called upon.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to move on to...
Bear up, bear down, Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around there watching.
are going to give us a bear up. We always end up the show on a positive note, and there were a lot of players who deserve consideration for their bear up. But let's find out who gets the nod, starting with you, Shayne.
I got to go boring. I blast this guy.
I'll give him the layup.
Yeah, I got to go boring with Mega Punt. Seven punts for 384 yards, 54.9 a clip, long as 60. That is what we need to see from him.
Thank you.
Every single game. The only thing that has been consistent about O'Donnell in his career is his inconsistency.
That's right.
And it's cost us big. That shanked punt in the playoffs was, in my eyes, just as big as the missed field goal, just as big as the fourth down play where Philadelphia scored the touchdown.
Right. To Golden Tate.
When you have an elite defense and you're punting the football with power and accuracy like he did tonight, it can dictate fucking games from a punter.
Well, you heard Chase say we were backed up there, so we kind of got... That happens all the time. Imagine the pressure of a playoff and your punter fucking buries a 50-yarder at the 16-yard line and the Bears crowd's going crazy. Yep. It's a fucking whole different scenario.
You got it.
It wasn't just the distance either. Like tonight he had, it was the hang time too. And I know that sounds weird to people because you think if you kick it long, the hang time is going to be there, but that's simply not the case. You can have one without the other. And then that's when you see, if you don't have the hang time, but you kick it long, that's when you see these, long returns. That's the way that it happens. But Pat O'Donnell, it's all part of the process. It's going to help, dig the offense out of a hole and set the defense up to do what they do to put the offense back out there on a short field. So another thing, I have this written down and I have a star beside it, is to see what Pat does next week against the Giants. Can he carry it over? Because he has not done that throughout his career. It's been up and down and up and down and up and down.
He's the inchworm.
Yeah, exactly. Started out great today. It's got to transfer to next week. So Pat O'Donnell, you're my bear up.
Well, and I wonder if the weather has been an issue in O'Donnell's career. I haven't noticed. I haven't studied it enough to say that it is or not. But the last Saturday at Family Fest, he was pounding the hell out of the ball. There was no wind. The weather was tranquil.
I thought you were talking about Joe Mandel with his fiance for a second there. I didn't know.
That wasn't me, Joe. That was Phil.
Naughty boy.
But I keep it 100 proof for a little bit.
But I'm glad that you cited Pat O'Donnell, because the rest of the special teams units, aside from Elliott Fry, all need to watch some tape. And I hope Chris Tabor goes out there on Saturday and he has an animated session with his guys, and that everyone on special teams, because they've been doing special teams with no hitting. Every practice, no hitting. I want to see some hitting because I didn't see any tonight.
Right. I want to go back, too, and watch Eddie Pinero's missed field goal and see if I pick up anything on O'Donnell's end.
Excellent point.
On the whole, because that has been an issue. I mean, he's the constant in the equation.
It's the smartest man, motherfucker.
All right. Trey Busy. Telling it how it is.
It is. Great point on O'Donnell. Great fucking stuff in here, because the consistency, the inchworm, the pounding, everything.
Joe. Not the inchworm, Joe. We're giving you credit.
It all came together. It's 100 proof. And Pat O'Donnell, Shayne's, you totally fucking pulled the screwball on me.
I wasn't
expecting you, but that's awesome. That's why you are the smartest man, Trey. He is.
It's the smartest man, motherfucker.
That's right. He fucking is. That's a great call because I'm going to hit the slam dunk.
All right.
You ready for mine?
I am. I'm not going to play any music. I'm just going to give you the stage.
No, mine is David Montgomery.
Of course.
Just comes out here. You hear the coach excited. Aldo fucking called the Walter Payton comparison in the locker room. That little twinkle. There's something about having, dice that are fucking, what are they, weighted dice? You know you're going to fucking win. He has weighted dice in his pocket that he's ready to roll with David Montgomery. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could have said a better drop for you to fucking promote this show just now than that. Just roll those weighted dice of Montgomery, pound the football. You saw the balance. You saw the fucking effort. Shayne, there's one run. It's 7 yards. I think even fucking Jim Miller's fucking dyed beard got excited at that point. It was like, whoa. We're not used to this effort in preseason from anyone other than a white running back that Danny Shimon thinks is going to play fullback. So David Montgomery, the hands, the moves, the energy, the effort, and then to fucking just put the exclamation point in it, aside from Nagy's comments, was what Shayne said. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to get back to work and do it. Like, he lived the moment, and he did it.
I want to just point out that, again, Javon Wims continues to impress in very limited play tonight, but it is clear that this guy knows how to run routes. He is much better at running routes than he showed last year, where it was much more of a vertical game. And to, just as I digress here a second, but Tanner Gentry has also been running some fabulous routes at camp. But back to Javon Wims, he's running routes, and he is showing the entire repertoire of what a NFL receiver can be, and it's going to be very, very difficult to keep him off this team and keep him off the field. This team has lots of depth at wide receiver, but to me, Javon Wims and these two guys, Draft Dr. Phil and Shayne Marsaw, are much better scouts than I will ever dream of being. But from what I've seen from my old two eyes, is this guy is very impressive, and I can't wait to see more of him. And at camp, the chemistry between Trubisky and Wims has been something also that is a huge plus for this team. The chemistry between Trubisky and A-Rob is first and foremost out of this world.
It's easy to see, Aldo. You're
exactly.
Saying.
It's totally easy to see and understand. Was said before the game that A-Rob isn't thinking anymore. He's just reacting, and the same thing with Trubisky. That's going to be a receiver who's going to give you double digits in touchdowns. He's going to give you over 1,000 in yards. And then after that, you've got a trio of or a quadruple wide receiver team that can give you 750 yards and 7 touchdowns. And we're talking about Wims. We're talking about Taylor Gabriel. We're talking about Anthony Miller. And we can maybe even find another name or two. This is exciting. This is exciting. And for those of you who have been reading the headlines, my brother calls me up the other day and says, man, I know you've been out of camp. I'm worried about Trubisky. So I had to sit him down. I had to tell him, don't fucking listen to the media. I've been there. I know what's going on. I know what Matt Nagy's doing. Don't worry about it. It's the games that count. If Trubisky, has a poor game against the Green Bay Packers, then I'm going to be singing a different tune. But
we're going to call it like it is.
Absolutely.
Aldo's not going over on Colin Howard until worrying about practice. It's just so annoyingly dumb. But people have to be educated. I'm sorry. It's no shot at people. They are like your brother. They believe what is being told to them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's unfortunate that you got a bunch of fucking frauds when it comes to football. Like, fans, beat writers are writers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know many that understand every intricacy. They can understand how to ask a question. It's up to them to learn the game, go the extra mile. But from what I've seen in my time in being a Bears fan, following this team, got me so fucking upset that I met these two gentlemen and said, we got to fucking do a show because they are fucking totally saying something that ain't real.
Phil, we have an update from Twitterville from Bobby Bombs.
Bobby Bombs.
On the tweet.
The big board guy.
His reply was, Baby Ruth.
I said, you know what, on the show and on this network, if you can't fucking laugh at yourself, then you don't belong on this network.
Well,
so
and
you can't
you don't
come
belong in
up
the
laugh
human
at
race.
yourself, Uncle Mike. Come on 100 proof again, Mikey North. I'm fucking setting a challenge to you.
There you go.
I just want to talk to you for one segment, and I want to get your top fantasy receivers this year so I could draft the opposite.
Lots more to talk about this particular game, and we'll try to get the guys together to do that, because our job now is to go back and look at this game again, study the tape, and so we can make a more informed opinion on what transpired out there. Again, there's nothing at all to worry about with the team losing the game. There's nothing at all to worry about with the performance by players like Josh Woods and Rashard Coward. Those guys have over time showed too much promise to have one bad performance or a few bad plays tell us, oh, we got to go find a backup tackle. Oh, we got to find somebody to replace Woods. No. These things are all correctable, and after 2 or 3 preseason games, if this becomes a trend, then you have our permission to be worried. But the guys will look at the tape and we'll report further on what's going on. I want to move now to let's do some shout outs. Guys, want to do some shout outs, whether it's players or our friends or anybody. I want to thank, first of all, Steven Zimmerman, Ryan Cox, Trucker X, Omar Barrios, Cody, Denny, and somebody else who is unidentified in our chat room. They have stuck with us now for almost 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, they are true blue barflies, and this is on a Thursday night when a lot of people have to get up early and go to work, including Shayne Marsaw and Draft Dr. Phil.
And Phil.
So
I just feel bad for him.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it over to Shayne. He usually has a short list of shout-outs, and then we'll turn it over to Phil.
I got to shout out 2 of our own here, Bobby Bombs and Greg Braggs.
Yes.
Stepping up at camp the other day with the little kid and his birthday.
Nice.
Not getting the autographs, so those guys stepping up and giving him some, swag that they had. I thought that was awesome. Great gesture. Wouldn't expect any less from those 2 guys to give away some of their stuff to put a smile on that kid's face. And I mean, little kid like that's going to remember that for the rest of his life.
Damn
and, that's like I said, it's a huge testament to those 2 for going there and getting that and just, parting ways with it just to put a smile on a kid's face. And for all the bullshit that we deal with here and the, people talking bad about Bears Barroom, well, that tells you what we do here at Bears Barroom right there. Those guys, 2 guys are a big part of what we do, and they stepped up. And if you got something bad to say about Bears Barroom, go ahead and say it. But when something good like that happens, you better be paying some respect that way too. So major shout out to Bobby and to Greg for their good deed.
Steven Zimmerman wants us to know that he is happy to sub in for any one of us the next time we miss a show, even if it means Shayne's
absolutely Zim. Yeah, they're gonna. Actually, I think there's an opening for him over at the what is it called, the Brawl Network.
Omar Barrio says, you guys are fucking awesome. And you know what, Omar? I got to agree with you. We are. Draft Dr. Phil, take it away with your shout-outs.
Yeah, I wanted to send a few shout-outs. Tonight, share something personal. Me and Shayne always talk. Me and Aldo always talk. We share things on this show that are personal. And tonight I had a very difficult moment in my life to lay to rest a former football player. I just want to shout out his family and his sister and the people that might listen in on this show. That it was very difficult to walk in there, and I don't mean to crush the mood here, but I just wanted to say thank you to them for their kind words to me and what I'm doing here and with my guys, my brothers, Aldo and Shayne. So I just want to shout out his family tonight. And I also, to bring up the positive, I want to shout out another guy who's had a tough time but came and is a bar fly to the core. I mean, he just never he can't drive for shit, and he never shows up at a game. But I just want to shout out Lil Nicky. Yay. I know you're probably going to be listening in, but Nicky, this is a family. Bears Bar Room. We've had fans from all over the world. I'm having bar flies come in, who will be my next shout out, to stay with me and Steph and my family and take them around and show them. So it's a family. If you're having trouble, if there's an issue, you reach out to Aldo, Shayne, or myself. And I'm sure one of us is going to help you in the right direction. And
the only time we can't do it is at 2:30 to 4:30. That's when we're busy with Dan Aguirre.
Shayne, if I bother you, I will stop texting you at that time. I'm so sorry. You make
4:30 in the morning. Shayne, I have a question about over-the-air and high-definition antennas.
He totally did. I'm concerned that the strike with ABC and my locals is going to affect week 6 of the season, and I might not be able to watch. So I fucking love this guy.
Oh my gosh.
Dan Aguirre, shout you out.
Shout him out. Yeah, he's got a big
big day.
Yeah,
few days coming up. Yeah.
Fucking skipped him over, dunked on poor Greg Braggs' head last night. But Dan Aguirre, best of luck, Aldo. I know you agree. I know he has some divorce coming up, and I've been there. I know Aldo's been there. That's not easy, no matter where.
I'm working on it.
Breaking news.
Yeah, really.
I want to shout out Mark from Dubai. Guy,
my
a
man.
huge, great dude, great barfly, great person. Just always reaches out. Was reaching out this week, checking in. My buddy from work, Chris Jackal, listening in today, or the podcast.
Forget Elvis.
We got to shout out Elvis, the voiceover guy. I got to play him again. Professor Cox, I want to shout you out, having a baby and growing up so fine and beautiful little boy. John Bradley across the pond. Joey Two Scoops.
He just got home. He just got home from the game, and in the chat room he says, "You guys are still live? Holy cow!"
Yep, Joe. Holy smokes, Joe.
Yeah, we're in Phil's shout-outs, Joe. No shit.
My last shout-out, you made me. I already shouted them out, but Bears Den on Facebook. If you're a Bears fan, go there. They put all this Bears stuff up, and they've been really loving what Bears Barroom's bringing, and we appreciate that support. And my guy EJ always supporting the Bears Barroom. And that's it tonight, guys. It's been a great week. Oh, the Sandlins. I wanted to shout out Chris Sandlin and Heather Sandlin. Tremendous people, Aldo, and supporters of Bears Barroom and what we do here. I know he'll be listening on the podcast.
Indeed. And Chris was in the chat room, in and out, so I'm sure he was busy taking care of some things.
And when did we go live, Aldo, tonight? When was it?
I think it was halftime, so.
Oh, was it halftime? Yeah. It was halftime?
It was halftime. Like that? Come on, bro.
Some quick shout-outs here. I just want to shout out the guys that I spent some time with out at Bears Camp, and they are, of course, Bobby Bombs and his brother, Chris Sandlin and his son, Trey Busy was there, Danny Shimon, and Greg Braggs. Had a blast with those guys. Had some drinks afterwards. Went over to TJ Donlan's, a popular watering hole over in Bourbonnais, and had a few drinks. And actually, it was more than one day with those guys. We had a couple of days, 2 or 3 days with some of them. And I also want to shout out the Chicago Bears. I know we give them a lot of shit for things when they go wrong, but one of the things that they do right is the whole experience at Bourbonnais. And I'm dying to get Phil down here. We're definitely going to get Phil and hopefully Shayne down here next season, because it is a great family experience that they put on. Phil, your kids would have a blast down at Bourbonnais. There's all sorts of things for them to do, to run around and jump and simulate, doing diving catches and simulate all this stuff. And then, of course, there's watching the practices up close. I mean, you can spit and hit Matt Nagy in his ball head.
Amazing.
Because it's so close, and it costs nothing just to drive down there. And, of course, if you go into the souvenir shop, you're going to spend some money.
Can I be one of Bobby's cousins? Like he's got 20.
Absolutely. Yeah, Bobby was very gracious enough to include us in the family event for the military people, and we got some got up close to players and got some autographs and stuff. But just a huge shout out to the Chicago Bears. They do that right, and I hope they continue to do that. And that's it, man. We've had a great show here. Just
one quick thing, Aldo.
Sure.
We got to say on this show, finally, we've been calling for it for years. They announced it, that they're going to put statues of Walter Payton, and George Halas at Soldier Field. This has been way fucking overdue.
Yes.
This is the two matriarchs of the NFL, the greatest player, I think, ever at the position, whatever you want to say, just the best football player I've ever seen. He's the reason I'm a Bear.
Right.
He should be there, and he's the reason 50 million other people are Bears fans.
Right.
So and then the matriarch of the whole the idea that a professional league would survive and be successful. The guy who believed in it and built this franchise, whether you like the owners or don't, whatever, George Halas is the Papa Bear, the godfather of the NFL. We have the godfather producer. I'm just happy that they've done it, Aldo. I know you've been there your whole life.
And, it's broken my heart because I've been up to Lambeau Field, and they got two beautiful statues of Vince Lombardi and Curly Lambeau out in front of their the main entrance to Lambeau Field. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't we have one for George Halas and any one of a number of great players with the Chicago Bears? I mean, if anything, there should be a statue for Walter Payton, Red Grange. Joe Mandel just put it in the chat room that he got his Red Grange bobblehead tonight, which is fabulous. But you know what?
Nice.
There should be a Red Grange statue outside Soldier Field. There should be a Walter Payton statue. There will be, thank goodness. But there should be a Gale Sayers and a Dick Butkus.
Shane Matthews.
Aldo's poll for next week.
But nonetheless,
He totally ruined his flow.
I'm sorry.
You know what?
He's in prison now. Do you know that?
What?
Yeah.
I'm in prison.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear. Google it, Aldo.
Number
Google
9.
Now, Shane Matthews.
What university, Aldo? Don't say it, Shane.
What university Shane Matthews went to?
Yeah, you remember?
Florida.
Yes. Yeah. Look at this mother.
He got clipped for something.
Really? Shane Matthews
Yeah.
did? That's interesting.
Prison?
Because when I saw it, I'm like, no fucking. I used to hate that motherfucker.
Remember the pick he threw at the goal line for like 99 yards? I'm like, oh my. I'm thinking we're going to win. And fucking he throws
Was
the
it tax evasion or some shit? I don't know. I'll have to fucking.
Fed prison. He's in the Fed.
You are listening to Bears Barroom Radio.
Yes, you are.
We got to give that guy a name because
that's Elvis.
That's Elvis. Okay. Elvis might become the new voice of the barroom over Dan Aguirre.
I don't know about that.
Healthcare fraud.
Healthcare. Oh, yes. I heard about that with
healthcare.
Matthews became entangled in a scheme with former University of Florida linebacker Monty Groh to receive kickbacks on prescription medications.
Oh, he was selling that shit.
Yeah,
basically.
A lot of money in that shit, man.
20 million from TRICARE program for military members, veterans, and their families.
Wow.
I still remember him throwing that deep ball and it bouncing and caroming and fucking James Allen comes down with it, remember?
Yes.
Against the Browns.
I guess we should say later in the article it says that Matthews stopped working for Groh in the spring of 2015 and was unaware of the conspiracy. Stunned by the revelation, I immediately cooperated with the authorities and offered to give back every cent of my compensation, Matthews said in a statement. I deeply regret getting involved with Mr. Groh's business.
Oh, okay. So he's
He was
claiming.
sentenced to 3 months in federal prison.
Wow.
I told you.
Sociopathic, psychopathic.
There's a lot of that shit going around, Aldo. Hey, we have a Dan Aguirre sighting in the chat room. I think he's there trying to pick up all the single ladies.
The voice got pissed.
He's asking for numbers, I think.
All the single ladies, come to West Virginia, come to West
Dan and his big dick are waiting for you in West Virginia. All right, guys.
Finally, Aldo, finish your point about the statue.
Well, you know what? The reason I actually paused there is because in the middle of my thought, I thought to myself, you know what? We could easily do another hour, despite the fact that I'm tired.
We'll save it.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Jane's ready for bed.
Remember, if you drink, please do not drive, and always bear down.
Bear down. Touchdown, David Montgomery.
Who goes live